Carbon Dino football on the Peak, KRPX 95.3 FM. Carbon Dino football, powered by Castle Country Radio on KRPX 95.3 The Peak and online at castlecountryradio.com. And now for tonight's play-by-play, let's join Sonny Buscarini and Aidan Mortensen.
Welcome to Carbon Dino football here on 95.3 The Peak. This is where the Dinos play, and it's game number 3 in this 2025 football season. Carbon Dinos come in tonight 2-0, and they are at home as they host the Ogden Tigers, who come in 1-1. Hello, everybody, and once again, and welcome to the broadcast tonight. In the Sutherland's broadcast booth, Sonny Buscarini, and I'm joined, as always, my partner for Carbon Dino Sports, Aidan Mortensen, and Dave Hokinson on the camera tonight. So that's our crew once again, great crew to bring you Carbon Dino football. And Aidan, pleasure to have you here today.
It's always a pleasure to be here with you, Sonny, especially as we make our return back to Dino Field here in beautiful Price, Utah. You know, I do like traveling along with the team, but there's no place like home, as they always say. So it's exciting to see the Dinos back in action on their home turf.
The field looks incredible. It is green. I wonder why.
Yeah, a little bit of rain can't do that. Luckily, not too much rain as to postpone this game. That was a major worry that we were seeing across both collegiate and local sports around here. USU Eastern yesterday having to postpone their game to play over at Emory High School due to flooding. So, you know, it's just a good day to know that we do have the opportunity to play some football.
Yeah, absolutely. The Carbon Dinos come in 2-0 on the season. You know, they've started out 2-0 2 out of the last 3 seasons, trying to look to go to 3-0. Now they played an Ogden team that they lost to last year, 31-14, but that game was closer than the score.
Yeah, that was a game where the Dinos had good drives going. The offense looked good, the defense looked good, but it was big plays by Ogden's offense and some stalled drives by the Dinos offense that really were the story of that game. And that made a lot of difference for the Dinos. A big play by Maddox Wilson to end the first half, taking a screen pass, or intercepting a screen pass, and taking it all the way 4-6 for the Dinos to get them going, at least scoring-wise. That was the kind of the turning point in that game. From there on out, Sonny, it was a pretty even affair.
Yeah, so taking a look at the Carbon Dinos, they come in 2-0 with wins, a 34-31 win over ALA. That was a good game. The Dinos actually had a 27-7 lead at one time in that game, and then ALA made it close, but the Dinos finished it out. And then last week on the road against Grand, domination up there in Moab with a 68-6 win over the Red Devils. So the Dinos come in 2-0.
Yeah, the Dinos have looked dominant, especially last week against Grand, albeit a depleted Grand squad, but they went down there, they took care of business, and they dominated from whistle to whistle throughout that game. A 68-6 victory, Sonny. That is the most points scored in a single game by the Dinos since the turn of the millennium, all the way back in 2000. So an explosive offensive performance, but Sonny, we can't discount Ogden's offense either. Put up a 49-0 shutout over Judge Memorial Catholic, just dominant from start to finish. So two teams riding very hot offenses clashing together. It's going to be a matchup of the unstoppable force and the immovable object between these two squads.
As you said, Ogden 1-1 on the season. They won their they lost to Summit Academy, their first game 28-20, and then bounced back and defeated Judge Memorial 52-0. That's how they sit 1-1 now. Ogden leads the series 7-2 against the Dinos since the turn of the millennium, as you said. So the Dinos trying to go 3-0 today, and we'll talk a little bit about the Carbon Dinos first, this offensive team. They won their first game with 5 turnovers, which is impressive to me because they were moving the ball when they had those 5 turnovers. That game was 34-31. It should not have been that close.
No, if you can overcome a 5-turnover deficit and still win a football game, that speaks heavily on how solid you were in that game and every other aspect. And you got to give them a lot of credit, Sonny. They picked up that statistic, and they really cleaned it up going against Grand. Didn't turn the ball over a single time. That's going to be key going against an Ogden defense who is very aggressive. Another thing that they're going to have to look out for, Sonny, is that middle run. That's something that gave them trouble against ALA. That was the one play, it seemed, that could really shut them down, was that little gash up the middle. They're going to Ogden runs quite a bit of that, especially having several players on this team who are very run-centric. So it's going to be an interesting matchup, stylistic matchup between these two squads.
Yeah, the Dinos coming in, they got a balanced attack. You know, they ran the ball really well this season, and they can throw the ball as well. You know, the junior quarterback, Caden Dunn, he's putting the ball where the receivers can catch it. They're coming down with it. So the balanced attack has definitely helped the Dino offense.
That it has, Sonny. And against Grand, the rushing attack was going so well that they only had to rely on the arm of Dunn 5 times throughout that entire game. But you look at his statistics throughout the season, 5 passing touchdowns and a 53% completion rate.
Yep.
He's on target about half the time, and that's a great statistic for a varsity quarterback on the high school level. As you get to the more professional side of things, you want to see it go up. But for high school, that's stellar.
Yep, and then on the defensive side of the football, the Dinos, we talk about it off air and we talked about it on air. Their tackling this year has been really well. They're tackling, making good tackles. They're not missing tackles, and they're pursuing the ball really well. You very rarely see a solo tackle. There's always 2 or 3 Dino defenders in on the stop, and that's impressed me on the defensive side.
Yeah, gang tackling has been key for Carbon throughout the year. As soon as one body makes contact, there's about 5 other Dinos, like you alluded to, making their way down there. Always an interesting statistic to look at is that linebacker, and they have one of the most stellar in the classification, if I do say so myself. Daxton Maurer comes in every play like a heat-seeking missile. On the season, 23 tackles, 3 for a loss, but he hits like a Mack truck, Sonny. You see him coming. You can feel the hit all the way up here in the Sutherland's broadcast booth. He is just brutal when it comes to that. And then you also just have stellar defensive players all over the place. I mean, you look at Grand's game last year. They held him to just 44 yards of total offense. That's incredible.
Right. Take a look at Ogden. They have a balanced attack as well. And they have Blake Weston, the quarterback, the junior, 6'4", 190, wears number 6. He can throw the ball, and he can run the ball as well.
Yeah, 307 passing yards on the season, 78 rushing yards. But what impresses me most about Weston is his composure in the pocket when he drops back to pass. He is completing 81% of his passes, and he's throwing on average 12 a game. So that's incredible to see from this junior quarterback, and the rushing attack, Sonny. He really aids in that. You're going to see a lot of read option plays coming from him. 2 similar styles of offense coming, both running a variation of the wing T.
Now looking at the defensive side for Ogden, you watch some film, and they like to blitz.
That they do, Sonny, and no player benefits more than that than senior linebacker Max Wilson. 19 tackles on the season, 5 for a loss. And also you got senior linebacker Keen Crowther, 11 tackles, 5 for a loss. So that's a duo in that secondary group that is going to be sending pressure at Dunn all throughout the evening. Always a fearsome opponent to face when they have a great linebacking core.
Listening to the Landon's Diesel Service pregame show, it's the Carbon Dinos tonight at home, 2-0 on the season against the Ogden Tigers. They are 1-1. And coming up on our pregame show, we'll have an interview that Jordan did with the head coach of the Carbon Dinos, Nick Milovich. He did that yesterday on Drive Time Sports. We'll play that for you in its entirety, and then we'll go down to the field. We'll have Aiden get a couple of interviews with both coaches. Then it'll be time for the flip of the coin, and it'll be time for kickoff here at Carbon High School. It's Carbon Dino football on 95.3 The Peak. You can also watch us as well. How do you go about doing that, Aiden?
We are on YouTube at Castle Country Radio Carbon and on the KSL Sports app. Plenty of ways to watch the Dinos in action, and especially live and in color with our video stream. You gotta love it.
We'll take a break. When we come back to interview Jordan did with the head coach of the Dinos, Nick Milovich, right here on the Landon's Diesel Service, 95.3 The Peak, where the Dinos play.
At Landon's Diesel, they understand the heartbeat of your diesel truck. Whether it's the rig that powers your livelihood or the everyday vehicle that drives your life, the trained technicians at Landon's Diesel are here to keep you rolling. Plus, with 24-hour towing service, support's just a call away, anytime, day or night. Drive into Landon's Diesel for expert care tailored to you and your truck, because when your diesel needs expertise, Landon's Diesel is always here.
At A Perfect Smile, they specialize in transforming your smile with precision and care. From porcelain veneers and dental implants to orthodontics, crowns, and bridges, their expertise covers every aspect of general and cosmetic dentistry. Dr. Jackson and his team are here to address even the most challenging dental concerns, helping you achieve a smile you'll love. Ready for a smile makeover?
Looking for the perfect mattress? We've got you covered. At Bill's Home Furnishings, we have the largest selection of mattresses in eastern Utah, including the highly rated Serta Perfect Sleeper. And when it comes to price, we're competitive with anywhere in the state. But we're more than just mattresses. From quality furniture and home accessories to reliable appliances, we've got everything you need to make your house a home. Stop by Bill's Home Furnishings today, where selection, savings, and service meet. Right here in eastern Utah.
Looking for financial solutions? At Cache Valley Bank, they're here to help. Whether you need commercial loans, mortgages, or expert financial advising, they've got you covered. Visit them today on the corner of First West and Main Street. Cache Valley Bank, your partner in financial success.
Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Imagine this. You're cruising down the highway, windows down, music up, but suddenly your car sputters. Don't let car troubles break your stride. At Cars, Complete Auto Repair Service in Wellington, they're dedicated to keeping your vehicle running smoothly so you can keep enjoying those flawless drives. From regular maintenance like oil changes and wheel alignments to tune-ups and even new tires, Cars is here to help. Visit Cars today and drive away confident knowing your car is in its best shape ever.
Carbon High School football on KRPX 95.3 The Peak.
Since they want to know.
You're listening to Drive Time Sports with Jordan Buscarini on KOAL 107.3 FM and 750 AM.
On the eve of week 3 of the high school football season, tomorrow, lengthy road trip for the Emory Spartans. They'll travel to meet the 1A state champion Beavers. Carbon, on the other hand, they get a home game, and they get to play host to Ogden, so a clash of two 3A schools. Carbon right now 2-0, looking to get to 3-0 for the first time since 2014. And they are fresh off of one of the most impressive offensive outputs they have had in quite some time, scoring 68 a week ago against Grand. We're going to talk about that. We'll talk about tomorrow night's matchup and more. Joining us right now over the phone, we have Coach Nick Milovich of the Dinos. Coach, always a pleasure. Thank you.
Yep, always. Thanks, Jordan, for having me.
You bet, Coach. Always fun to talk Carbon High School football, and it's always more fun to talk after a win. And I don't know that you ever anticipate going out and putting up a 68 spot on the scoreboard or beating your opponent by 60 or plus points, but boy, it's nice to be on that side of the scoreboard because, as everyone knows, Carbon has been on the other side of that scoreboard several times.
A few times, too many to take credit for. But no, I was just so happy with the execution of the kids, and we were very pleased with the outcome, and everyone got to get into the game, which is awesome, and get those varsity reps, and a lot of kids were able to touch the ball, which was awesome, and just overall, it was just a fun Friday night.
I know anytime you go into a game where you know you are the better team, the biggest concern is playing down to the competition. And I think that's across the board in any sport. I mean, if we're talking volleyball in the fall, basketball in the winter, baseball in the spring, whatever it may be, you always are concerned about that, right? Maybe overlooking an opponent a little bit. But I think one of the things, Coach, that we learned about this Carbon football team is these kids want to win. And again, going back to what we talked about, these kind of performances have been few, far, and in between over the last couple of decades. And so I don't know that playing down to the competition is something you need to worry about now. And I'm not sure if that's something you were concerned about last week or not.
It crossed our minds, if I was to be a little bit honest. But you know what? That's just a tribute to the kids' mindset, and they knew what needed to be done, and we were able to take care of that. And hopefully everyone can felt that, and it's just like, you know what, we are a pretty good team, and now it's time to kind of play to our level and to exceed that. And we sure have a great test here in the next couple of days with Ogden, and hopefully we're not satisfied with what we did with Grand, but to build upon that and take it to them this Friday.
Obviously, you can't score 68 points every single week. It would be glorious if you could, but it's just not realistic. Yet, when you have a young team and you don't have a ton of depth, to take a step back, Coach, and look at and show your offense, look, this is what you're capable of doing. And to show your defense, look, you gave up 6 points. Should have been a shutout. Could have been a shutout if you would have allowed it to happen, right? If you would have played your starters. To take a step back and just look at the accomplishment, what does this do for the morale or the psyche of a team?
I hope it builds it. And I like I said, even from camp and when we had our first meeting with the kids, Carbon High can be successful. It really can, and I hope everyone can see that. We've got amazing athletes that can do extraordinary things. It's just a matter of putting it all together and having just the whole community trust us and come out and play. But we're so thankful for those who did come out and put their trust into us, and it's just been such a pleasure just calling plays and watching these kids fly around because they're so special, and I hope they understand that, and I think they got a good taste of that last Friday.
When you're a play caller, there's nothing worse than turning the football over, and I know you had to endure that week 1. Didn't really have a problem with that in week 2. And so my next question was going to be the improvement in ball security and decision-making that you've seen from week 1 to week 2. Different situation, I know, when you're playing ahead heavily throughout the entire game and you're not really ever being pushed, but still, you had to be happy, right, I would assume, with the decision-making.
Oh, 100%. Night and day in terms of the turnover differential and things like that, especially the fumbles. That was the point of emphasis of that week's practice and things like that. The kids answered the call beautifully. 6 different kids with 6 different touchdowns, which was awesome. And Dexter got in a few times. Tager, of course, did awesome with a few of his own. And so it was just pretty cool that, again, they listen, they try to improve, and that's just an attribute to this year's crop of kids. And they want to be better. They demand themselves to be better. And, as a coach and a coaching staff, you can't ask for much more. So I was super proud of them.
What was the vibe like Monday at practice, Coach?
Sorry, Jordan, say it again.
What was the vibe like Monday at practice after that game?
Yeah, sorry. No, really good. Spirits and morale were so high, but and we had to remind them, kind of bring them back to reality that, we've only gone through 2 weeks and we have 8 more plus games, including the playoffs and things like that to take care of. So Monday was great. Film was awesome, but it seemed like when we moved on to the film to Ogden, everyone kind of locked back in to that mentality. So I was actually pretty impressed with. Sometimes you got it. Okay, time to reel it back in. But the senior leadership that's in that film room got the whole team locked into what was important, and that was getting ready for Ogden on Friday. So again, just thrilled that when you can leave that up to the leadership and the seniors and the upperclassmen to get the younger kids reeled in and themselves reeled in without saying much is just an attribute to how special this team is. So I'm thankful for that.
Again, Coach Nick Milovich right now with the Carbon Dinos football team taking out the time to join us. Coach, I know each week it's going to be an increase in difficulty when we take a look at the strength of schedule. And up next, it's Ogden. Now, thankfully, I think this game's at home, and I do think that matters. I know Ogden has been a problem for us over the last little while. However, there have been some really good games kind of in this, I don't want to call it a rivalry, but maybe this little tradition that's been built over the last 5, 6, 7 years of playing this team on the field. And I know they typically do what they do very, very well. This is a tough game.
Yeah, absolutely, and we'd be foolish to say otherwise. Brand new coach, but it seems like he's been an assistant for 8 years and then be able to take over. So he knows what he's doing. He's keeping the traditions that Ogden has been doing over the years. And they are big, they're physical, and we need to be able to match that physicality and then increase our awareness of who's on the field and especially cut down on the mistakes and give them a show. So it is by far a walk in the park, and we definitely need to be locked in and ready to go.
Let's talk about preparation, Coach, and what they're going to throw at you defensively. 3-4 defense. We know they're very aggressive, right? They're going to bring the pressure. But you have become a team. I mean, I guess the identity of this team is you want to run the ball first, right? So maybe you can neutralize that a little bit, trying to establish something using the pass game as an extension of the run. I mean, is that kind of the mindset going up against an aggressive team that's going to bring two linebackers running a 3-4 set?
Absolutely. They've got two guys in the middle that we have to take account for. So blocks have got to be on point and things like that. We're going to just try to expose that as best as possible. Execution is the name of the game for today, or for the game on Friday, excuse me. And so we've got to be able to give our quarterback enough time when we do pass it and things like that. I think just with their preparations and watching film and stuff like that, I think they're going to be expecting us to run it out of the gate, so we might be switching it up just a little bit, just trying to keep that balanced attack, because I really, truly believe in the run, and because it does open things up. And we saw that with ALA. We saw that with Grand with the few times we did throw, but we're going to try to keep to our identity and just neutralize mostly the middle, and I think we have a good shot if we can do that.
Let's talk about what they do offensively, Coach. I think the one thing that stands out to me is their junior quarterback in Blake Weston. He's very efficient. So far this season, I think he's only thrown 5 or 6 incomplete passes. He's yet to turn the ball over through the air. Very efficient. Not throwing the ball for a ton of yardage, but again, that efficiency can definitely play a factor, and I'm sure that's something that has stood out to you guys.
Oh, absolutely. Andy loves to run the ball. He's bigger body. He'll put his head down. He's shifty. So we definitely need to be prepared for that. They actually run their screen game exceptionally well. If I was to give kudos to them, Ogden has always historically run a good screen game. So we got to be aware of where not only the running backs are, the tight ends, and different players like that, but definitely clogging up run holes. If we can stop their run game, we'd like to see him pass a little bit more. Just like you said, he doesn't throw too often, but when he does, he's on point. So maybe if we can get a little bit more pressure and clog runs up and stuff like that, we can kind of get him out of his comfort zone a little bit.
I know that this has been a tough week, right? The weather has not really been cooperative. How has that affected game preparation or what you wanted to implement this week, Coach?
It's been a bit of a challenge, and I think our kids have taken that with. I guess you can never really prepare with that sort of stuff, with just bad weather and things like that. But I think our kids haven't used that as an excuse. And they're willing to do what we can with what we're given and things like that. And so, as terms of on-field preparation and things like that, I think we're going to be good to go. It's just the lack of reps and things like that you're always concerned with. But I think our kids have taken it in stride, and like I said, have worked really well with what we've been giving them, and I think we'll get them ready to go on by Friday.
I know that I don't believe there's any rain in the forecast for Friday night. It should be semi-clear, but as far as the field is concerned, I would expect it to be a little bit damp based off what we've had weather-wise over the last couple of weeks. Does that play a factor into anything? Do you worry about that?
We had a little bit of it worry a couple of days ago and things like that. We've tried to baby the field as much as possible, and I think it'll be good to go. So I don't think it should change any of our plans or anything like that. And if it does start to rain, we've got an awesome run game, and we're prepared to transition to that if needs be.
Coach, it's always a pleasure to get you on. Again, congratulations on the 2-0 start. You have a chance to do something that Carbon hasn't done in over a decade, and that's get to 3-0. Hopefully we're talking about a win next week, and I always appreciate the time.
Always. Thank you so much. Go Dinos. Thanks, Jordan.
Again, that's Coach Nick Milovich of the Carbon Dinos taking out the time to join us. Carbon's broadcast tomorrow. It will begin at 6:30 on KRPX 95.3 The Peak. Kickoff will follow at 7. Plus, you can also watch the game. Just go to YouTube, type in Castle Country Radio Carbon. Let's pause for just a moment. More Drive Time Sports coming up. We'll talk NFL football, in particular fantasy. We're going to be joined by our good friend Joe Bartle. That's coming up next when we return right here on Drive Time Sports.
You're looking for somewhere you could be proud to work. Komatsu is looking for you. Komatsu is a leading manufacturer of construction, mining, forestry, and industrial heavy equipment. Komatsu currently has openings for seasoned welders, journeyman electricians, and MSHA certified electricians, as well as master machinists. At Komatsu, not only will your skills be rewarded with competitive wages, but you'll also enjoy benefits like a robust 401k plan. Grow with Komatsu. Go to komatsu.com or call Tanner at 636-6150.
I'm Will Hinckley, number 66. I'm Cole Hinckley, number 72, and you're listening to 95.3 The Peak, where the Dinos play.
Welcome back, Carbon Dino Football, 95.3 The Peak. This is where the Dinos play. We're about 4 minutes away from kickoff. The captains at the 50-yard line doing the coin toss. It's 2-0 Carbon, 1-1 Ogden, game number 3 of the 2025 season. Next week, we will be back at home against Canyon View as we wait for the flip of the coin here, and we'll see who wins the toss and where we go from there. The upcoming schedule will be Canyon View. Then we'll be at Richfield. Then we will be at Juab, home against North Sanpete, and at Delta. So that's the schedule coming up for the Carbon Dinos. Not an easy one.
That it's not, Sonny. A lot of tough games coming up, especially when you get to region slate. Even their non-region break against Delta is a tough task. Those Rabbits always know how to bring the heat. It's always a slugfest when they get into town.
So Ogden won the toss. They deferred to the Dinos. The Dinos will get the ball, and they will go left to right on your radio dial with their blue pants, their gray jerseys, white helmet, black pants, white jerseys, white helmet for Ogden. Now let's go down to the sidelines. Aiden Mortensen is with the head coach of the Dinos.
Thank you, Sonny. I'm down on the field here with head coach Nick Milovich. Coach Milovich, Ogden brings a bit of a different look on defense than you guys have seen, running that blitz-heavy 3-4. What's been the message to the offense heading into this week to try and keep that ball secure and safe?
That's exactly it. Keep it safe and secure, be able to pick up aggression. We'll see if we have time for the long ball. That wasn't our message. It's just short, simple, and let's just get some yards when we can, because I guarantee they're aggressive coming out of the gate, so we'll just go after them.
And then looking at their offense, they can attack you a plethora of ways, but they are a very run-heavy team. That's something you struggled with in week 1. Is that something you guys have put an emphasis on practice, is trying to shut down that run, especially up the middle?
I think so. I know that was a real big point of emphasis and making sure that we get that middle squared away. And I think Danny and Dave and everyone else has done an awesome job coaching our kids up to be able to be ready for that.
Now, Coach, let's look on both sides of the ball. Looking on the offensive side of things, who do you think is going to have a chance to have a breakout game, maybe stand out against this Ogden defense?
Well, if we're going short, our wing and tight end should be wide open, so Maddox and Jordan, we should be looking for them early and often. Depending on maybe if there's situational things, I think we can maybe get an edge on them if they're blitz middle happy. So hopefully Dexter can break a couple out and get out of here with a win.
And then on the defensive side of things, is there anyone we should be on the lookout for tonight to kind of have that game-changing effect?
Middle linebackers, Ricky Sandoval, Daxton Maurer have big shoes to fill, but I think they're up for the challenge. Jordan Nichols is going to, and Riker O'Haron should be able to at least fill that in, and so we're excited to get going here in a minute.
Now, Coach, anything else you want to leave us with before we let you get back to the team?
Come out and support us. We need you. And hopefully we can put on a good show for you. Go Dinos.
Well, thank you, Coach. We really appreciate it. Back to you in the booth, Sonny.
So we are ready for the start of tonight's game, Game 3 here of the 2025 season for the Dinos, 2-0 against the 1-1 Ogden Tigers and the Dinos. We'll get the ball first. As we said, Ogden won the toss. They deferred. The Dinos will get the ball. They'll go left to right on their radio dial. Aiden back up here, and Aiden it's really important that the Dinos get off to a good start here tonight against a good Ogden team.
Yeah, this isn't a team who you can afford to start slow against. You need to get off and you need to get firing right away, or else bad things are going to happen, so you need to take advantage of every opportunity you have, especially early. You can't afford to miss any assignments, especially against a very blitz-heavy Ogden team. They're going to cause a lot of problems for you, and it's going to be a long, long night if you can't set off that blitz.
Jackson Turner will kick the ball away for the Tigers. Back to receive for the Carbon Dinos, number 24, Jordan Nichols, and number 27, Riker O'Haron. So we're ready for the start of tonight's game between the Dinos of Carbon and the Tigers of Ogden. It's going to be a good one. I've been looking forward to this all week.
This is a real test for this Dinos team. If they move to 3-0, first time since 2014, that'll be a great way to start the season as we head into that region slate. Sonny, once after this kickoff, we'll take a quick look at that starting offense. But first, kick is up.
There's the kick. Short kick, fielded at the 10-yard line by Nichols. Nichols comes to the right side across the 20, 25-yard line, 27. First down for the Dinos. They will start there as the weather looks like the rain is coming towards us.
You know, Sonny, that's always a worrying sign. But before it does, let's take a quick look at the starting offense for the Dinos today. Of course, man, in that quarterback position, Caden Dunn, Dexter Packard in the running back slot, Trace Crespin and Colton Finch, and Maddox Wilson, your wide receiver tight end combo. Stepping in for an injured Tager Timothy, Jordan Nichols makes his start at wingback today. Then the big uglies up front, Andy Kuiper, Ben Stewart, Will Hinckley, J.J. Rudin, and Cole Hinckley.
Pediatric dental starting lineups. I'll get it out there. First down and 10 for the Dinos. Down the sidelines to Wilson. There's some contact, and the penalty flag comes flying in. And it will be interference against Ogden. That'll be a 15-yard penalty in the first down for the Dinos, as right off the bat, Dunn goes to his favorite receiver, the tight end, Wilson, going down the right sideline.
And just watching Wilson run down that right sideline, he is a man amongst boys down there, Sonny. He holds a good foot advantage over most of these players, so much so that Jackson Turner, the defensive back, had to do something to try and stop him. And unfortunately for them, that moves the Dinos forward 15 yards. A great start to this drive because we've always talked about, Sonny, you can get a positive gain on that first play. Good things are going to happen for you.
First down, 10 for the Dinos. Ball sits on the 40-yard line. Shotgun formation for the Dinos. Dunn hands the ball off. Packard finds some running room across the 40, 45-yard line. Pick up a 4. Nice pickup on first down for the Dinos, and that's a huge thing for the Dinos tonight as well. If they pick up 4 yards on first down, that's exactly what they need, is positive 3-4 yards on first down to make the defense think about what they need to do.
Yeah, no, you need to just whittle it out. You want those big plays, but you don't need to swing for them every play. 3 to 4 yards each down, that's all you really need, especially against a team that's going to be bringing you a lot of heat at the line of scrimmage.
Second down, shotgun formation, ball sits on the near hash mark. Dinos go left to right. Dunn's going to keep it. Across the 45, finds some running room, gets up to about the 48. Flag comes in late.
That's going to be a late hit against the Tigers. They drove him right into that warning track for the long jump. Just definitely a bit of a later hit along the sideline. We'll see what the officials say. They're talking it over.
If that's the case, that could possibly... And they're going to wave it off.
They will wave it off. It was definitely in that range where it could have been a late hit right along the sideline, but ref decides, no. That stayed clean. We're not going to penalize them 15 yards, but still another good 4-yard gain for the Dinos. 2 4-yard gains in a row. One more, you get yourself a first down, and that's all you need to keep this drive going.
Third down, 2. Ball sits on the Carbon 49-yard line. They break the huddle and come to the line of scrimmage. 2 receivers come to the near side. The ball sits on the near hash mark. 2 to the right side. 1 running back stands the left side of Dunn. Dunn in the shotgun. Man in motion is Crespin. Goes away from us. Quick pitch goes to the right side to Packard, and there's no place to go. 1, 2, 3, 4 Ogden defenders for a loss of 4. It's going to make it 4 and 7 for the Dinos. Good defense that time by the Tigers.
And, Sonny, that's the aggressive style we expected from Ogden. You miss one single block, and they're going to make you pay for it, and that time they did in spades. The Dinos now facing a much tougher situation.
Fourth down, we'll call it 7.
And, you'd expect a punt here being in your own territory, but you're flirting with that 50-yard line, so some coaches are going to get a little more bold here.
So we got a shotgun formation for the Dinos. Kind of a deep shotgun. Probably expecting a quick kick out of this. There's the snap, and that's exactly what we get. The quick kick's going to bounce at the 25-yard line and rolls down to the 20. Inside the 20, down to the 19. Ogden will start there with their first offensive possession of the game. So they get a 15-yard penalty on a pass interference. Do the Dinos, and then they stall, punt the ball away, and it'll be first down for Ogden. 10:30 left first quarter, tied at nothing.
And we've seen that quick kick kind of take over the range throughout the high school season. You're seeing a lot more teams try and utilize it. That's something that we saw Moab use a lot. We saw ALA break it out a bit, but it's given a lot more fits to teams in the special teams realm the first go around.
So 1st and 10 for the Tigers. They get their first offensive set. Ball on the far hash mark. They go right to left. 2 receivers near side. 1 man in motion comes towards us. Weston wants to throw. Throws between the hash marks. Tipped. Almost intercepted and then falls to the ground incomplete.
Beating himself up about that one, Sonny. Ricky Sandoval nearly comes up with the interception. A great job. 3 Dinos there, ready to swarm the middle. There was nowhere to go for Ogden. It results in second down, but you wish he would have come up with the pick. But you can't complain with 2nd and 10.
When you knock that ball up in the air like that in the middle of the field, good chance for an interception. Falls to the ground incomplete. 2nd and 10. Weston hands the ball off this time over the left side. 1 tackle broke, 2 tackles broke. Flag comes in down to the 27-yard line. Pickup of 8 on the play.
That's in the realm of a hold, though, Sonny. But that shows how dangerous Weston can be on the ground. He was able to break 1 tackle and drop his shoulder forward to break a few more as he plowed forward for 8 yards. But Sonny, the Dinos probably getting a little bit of a good break of luck. The Tigers more than likely moving back 10 yards. Yep, they're going to call the hold against Ogden. That moves them back 10.
So Anderson Curry, the ball carrier, gets his first carry of the ball game, and it comes back on the hold. That brings the ball all the way back to the, say we're going to mark it, it's a spot foul, so depending on where it happened at, going to bring it all the way back to the 10-yard line. So it will be 3rd and 19 for the Tigers. So the Dinos with their defense right here, a good opportunity to get the ball back.
Yeah, and this is exactly what you want. Flags start flying almost immediately, Sonny. That's something we've seen the refs early in this game not afraid to do, is throw that yellow piece of fabric.
So the flag, nothing gets done with the movement of the ball. Not quite sure what that flag was for. They reset the ball, and here we go.
Maybe a little overzealous on that one.
2nd down, 19. Shotgun formation. Weston wants to throw. Looks out to the left side, overthrew his intended receiver. Keen Crother was there. Overthrown, incomplete. It'll be 3rd down for the Tigers, 3rd down and long. Good defense that time by the Dinos. The secondary on their man, making it tough to hit the open receiver.
And Crowther been playing a key role in that receiving game for Ogden since he was just a sophomore, Sonny. He does so much for this squad, and he's only getting better with age. He's like fine wine in that regard.
Break the huddle. Ball sits on the far hash mark. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the short side of the field on the far side. Shotgun formation for Weston. Wants to throw. He's looking left again. Has a man wide open. If he gets it to him, he does. 50, 40. Thompson to the 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. 90-yard touchdown play for Ogden to Jack Thompson. He was wide open coming down the left sidelines. Blown coverage by the Dinos and an easy score for Ogden.
And Sonny, what can you say? That was a busted play from the start for the Dinos. Broken coverage leaves Thompson wide open along the seam. He doesn't even have to make a move at the line. He's able to just drive forward and keep on running. Perfectly placed pass on that one as well as he gets all the way into the promised land. Ogden's offense facing a lot of adversity early on, but able to find the end zone on that one.
Jackson Turner on to kick the extra point. 6-0. Senior wide receiver, defensive back, and kicker.
Well, in one play, Sonny, Weston has almost added another 100 yards to his total, almost flirting with that 400-yard mark for the season.
Snap to set down. The kick is up. The kick is good. 9:50 left to play first quarter. The big play for Ogden. See if the Dinos can answer back. 7-0. 9:50 left to play in the first quarter. Dino football, 95.3 The Peak, where the Dinos play.
At Clean Cut Roofing and Siding, they believe every home deserves to look its best. Since 2003, Clean Cut Roofing and Siding has been transforming homes and businesses with precision and care, ensuring your peace of mind with every shingle and siding panel installed. Whether you're updating an old look, repairing storm damage, or bringing life back to your storefront, trust them to handle every detail. Visit cleancutroofingsiding.com to schedule your free consultation. Clean Cut Roofing and Siding, where quality meets craftsmanship.
Carbon High School football on KRPX 95.3 The Peak.
Nichols, O'Hara back to receive the kick for the Carbon Dinos. 7-0. Ogden with the big play. They have 3rd and 19. And they answer on the 90-yard pass down the sidelines. And that's something the Dinos haven't allowed this year is big plays.
Yeah, no, that's something that up until that point, Sonny, it was all just grit and grind to try and drive down the Dinos. But in one play, they flipped the field all the way into the end zone. Just a defensive breakdown from that secondary. No one covering in the defensive back position.
And Weston just happened to look that way. Slip on the kick, and the Dinos will fall on it on the 23-yard line, and they will start their 1st and 10. Carbon Dino football, 95.3 The Peak, where the Dinos play. 9:48 left to play first quarter, 7-0 Ogden with the lead. See if the Dinos can answer back now.
Yeah, they're going to have to do that, Sonny. Always interesting to see how teams respond after giving up a big play like that. That's what makes these games so interesting, is seeing how these teams are going to react to this adversity. The Dinos have been a team throughout the season who have been able to come back from a rough defensive break or rough offensive break and find some success. They need to do that again, or else Ogden is looking right now like they have a chance to run away offensively.
Yeah, ALA scored first. It was 7-0 in that first game of the season. The Dinos rattled off 27 straight. Dunn's going to throw. Down the hash mark, incomplete, intended for Wilson, but he was double team and guarded well by the Ogden defense. 2nd down, 10.
Jack Thompson and Jaden Long both around Wilson. They came to this game on notice. You can't throw one man on Maddox Wilson. That is a two-man affair. But for the Dinos, that is a good thing because that should open up at least one more receiver on the offensive side of things. They just need to find who that is and how they can capitalize on it.
2nd and 10. Trips come to the near side. Ball sits far hash mark. Dinos go left to right. Shotgun formation for Dunn. Running back stands to the right side for the Dinos as well.
Wilson kind of commanding the field there, telling players where they need to be. That's a real leader on the field.
Nichols goes to the right side, man in motions. Crespin goes away from us. Quick pitch to the outside. Flag comes in. Packard avoids one tackle and gets back to the line of scrimmage and picks up 2. It's going to be 3rd and 8, but we'll see what the flag is.
And Sonny, it could go either way because it looked like it was right before the snap, so we could expect some procedure penalty on this one. Well, we'll see what the officials have to say when the white hat delivers the verdict.
It's a pick of a 2, so it'll either be 3rd and 8. If they decline this, there's a good chance they might decline this if it's on Carbon.
I think that would be the right
illegal
move, Sonny.
shift.
And the rain's starting to come down a little bit here on Dino Field, Sonny. A little bit of sprinkling all around us, but in the background, a beautiful rainbow starting to form. So just adding to that scenic view you get here up in the Sutherland's broadcast booth.
So that's interesting. They take the penalty, so it's going to be 2nd and 15 instead of 3rd and 8.
Well, Sonny, for the second time this year, we are seeing a battle of first-year head coaches. Terry Larson was an assistant on the old Ogden staff, took over this previous year to become head coach, much like Coach Milovich did after a year off under Coach Howa. So it's an interesting battle to see how these first-year head coaches are adapting to this season.
Shotgun formation for Dunn, wants to throw. He's looking to the right now, goes back left. Little screen pass to Packard. And then good defense by Ogden. 1, 2, 3 tacklers on the play. Just a pickup of about 3. It's going to be 3rd down and 12 for the Dinos with 8:59 left to play first quarter. 7-0 Ogden with a lead.
And Sonny, you can tell Ogden is a team who has watched a lot of film because that screen pass has fooled countless teams throughout the season for the Dinos. This time, though, being sniffed out off the bat. Defensive lineman did a great job stopping forward progress once they felt that release and swarming immediately to the open man.
Trips to the right side. Dunn looks that way in the pocket. Has time, throws. Overthrew his intended receiver, but there to make the catch is Crespin. I believe that ball was intended for Wilson. Maybe not. Either way, it's caught, and it's going to be close to a first down, and they will get it. That's a big play for the Carbon Dinos and move the chain. Regardless who it was thrown to, it was caught, and it was successful.
It was a beautiful dive by Crespin on that play as well to come up with the catch. Sonny doing an excellent job reading the ball. Wilson jumps up as if he was going to try and pull it down, but soars over his head into the waiting arms of Crespin, taking advantage of the situation.
Dunn's going to keep it, goes left side, finds a little bit of running room, gets up to the 35, pickup of a yard. Broke a tackle in the backfield to save a loss. It'll be second down.
And Keen Crowther coming in with the hit on that one for the Tigers, flying in like a freight train. He lays the boom down on Dunn. Stops any forward momentum. The Dinos, it was a good move, initial move by Dunn to gain a little forward progress so he wasn't stuck with the loss.
2nd and 9 for the Dinos. 7:40 left to play in running, first quarter. Dino football 95.3 The Peak, where the Dinos play. We'll have updates from around the state. Scores for you. Aiden excellent at doing that for us, so he'll keep us updated with everything going on. Shotgun formation for the Dinos. Trips to the right side. Dinos go left to right. Dunn looks that way. Throws down the right sidelines to Crespin. Overthrew everybody, incomplete. But he threw that ball where it could not be intercepted, so it will be 3rd down and 9 for the Dinos.
And that's something we've seen from Dunn throughout the season. He's not putting this in places where opposing defensive backs are going to have an easy time. It was a foot race to the ball between Crespin against Jackson Turner, the defensive back. Neither unable to get it, but for the Dinos, probably best case scenario if Crespin wasn't going to be able to come up with the catch.
3rd down 9 for the Dinos. Ball sitting on the 35-yard line. They need to get to the 44. 3rd down, we'll call it 9. Shotgun trips go to the left side. Nobody out here on the near side. Ball sits on the left hash mark. Dunn wants to throw. Throws over the middle. Intercepted. Flag comes in to the 30, 25, down the sidelines, 20, 15, 10. Intercepted by Max Wilson, but let's see what the flag is.
Yeah, that was thrown almost immediately, Sonny, and it's in the range of that play where it could be a holding, could be a pass interference. This is going to be an interesting call by these officials, and one that could flip the momentum of this game on its head. Max Wilson reads the pass beautifully up the middle, sneaks in last second to take one away from Dunn, and returns it a good 20 yards. That is, if it stands.
They're walking the ball back this way, so we'll see. It's holding on Ogden, so that interception is going to be nullified by penalty number 3 for the Tigers for 35 yards, but that's a big one there. It'd have been 1st and goal for Ogden. Instead, we come the other way. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Dinos. Big penalty.
And the Dinos been on the receiving end of a few lucky breaks from that yellow piece of fabric, but one that can't overturn the interception. But you just got to find a way to bounce back from it. And I think the big situation for them here, Sonny, is you can't afford to give up a 3rd and 19. That's what happened last drive, led to the big 7 for Ogden. They need to find a way to stop them, and they had them figured out until that 3rd down play.
Trips coming to the near side for the Carbon Dinos. Shotgun formation for Dunn. Dunn hands the ball off to Packard. It's a reverse to Wilson. Wilson finds a little bit of running room, but a good defensive play coming up to make that stop for Ogden. Jackson Turner, pickup of 3 for Wilson. 2nd and 7, 6:55 in running. Left to play first quarter. 7-0 Tigers.
And to see the reverse stopped that efficiently, Sonny, that's something that should be worrying to Carbon, because normally they've been able to farm that play for a good 15 yards a go-around. But Ogden, again, it looks like they have been watching film, and they have found out these little trick plays that Carbon likes to run. They sniffed them out, and so far they've been laying down the hammer.
Give them 2 on the play, so it'll be 2nd and 8. 2 receivers both sides for the Dinos. Ball sits on the 47. Need to get to the Ogden 45. Give it to Wilson. Breaks 1 tackle, breaks 2 tackles, gets back to, somehow he got back to the line of scrimmage and might have picked up a yard. He did. Hard running there. Coming up to make the tackle, Anderson Curry, the junior linebacker for the Tigers. It'll be 3rd down and 7 for the Dinos.
And Sonny, the fact that he was even able to gain a yard on that is impressive. Yes. He had to break about 3 tackles and lunge forward to even get back to the line of scrimmage. Max Wilson has a lot of power behind him. You just need to give him a little bit of a bigger hole in order for him to burst through into that secondary. Because if he finds himself isolation with a linebacker, a defensive back, it's game over.
3rd down, we'll call it 7 for the Dinos. Shotgun formation. Wilson moves over to the far side. Ball sits right in the middle. We have a flag coming in. It has to be delay game.
Yeah, they're on from the back, Judge.
And it is.
Well, Sonny, that we talk about it all the time. These teams start getting going. They get some forward momentum. The Dinos had one lucky break with that interception being overturned due to a defensive holding call. They were able to find a little something and start marching the ball down the field, but now they face a daunting 3rd and 12, but a situation where we saw Ogden capitalize just a drive ago.
Yeah, the penalty puts them behind the chains now. 3rd down, 12 for the Dinos. Trips go to the far side, single receiver to their near side towards us. Shotgun formation for Dunn. Dunn wants to throw. He's looking left, throws left, caught by Wilson to the 50-yard line, picks up 7 of it, and a flag comes in late.
That's a helmet-to-helmet hit, Sonny. You look at it, they could potentially call spearing, and that could lead to an ejection early for Ogden. You watch the contact on it. Wilson, a defenseless player, diving to the ground on that case. Helmet comes flying in, takes him down. Official a little slow to throw the flag, but the flag does get thrown. We'll see what the officials have to say.
Ball sitting right at the 50-yard line. Let's see what the penalty is. I think you got the call right. We'll see. 5:07 left to play first quarter. 7-0 Ogden. The Dinos moving the football.
And the fact that Wilson able to stand up almost immediately after that and just walk it off like nothing happened. He is a tough kid, Sonny. He spent a lot of time in the weight room this off season, but they're checking him out right now. It's better to be safe than sorry, especially when it comes to hits to the heads. You got to go through the protocol, and it looks like they're going to take him out for a second.
They'll mark it off. The Dinos will get another first down because of the penalty. It's going to be a 15-yarder for Ogden. That is 4 penalties for 50 yards. They've had a 15, a 10, a 10, and a 15. Big penalties for Ogden, keeping this drive alive for the Dinos. The Dinos need to put points on the board now with this drive, with the couple of breaks they've got with the flag to keep the drive alive. First down and 10 for the Dinos. Ball sits on the Ogden 35-yard line.
Well, Sonny, you take the mantra by any means necessary. That's been embodying the Dinos tonight. Haven't necessarily found success in the air or on the ground, but this area they found success in is drawing penalties from the Tigers. Very undisciplined play so far, especially defensively.
First down and 10. Dunn goes under center for the first time. Hands it off up the middle for a pickup of about 3 on the play. There are a host of defenders in to make the stop.
And this Ogden sideline getting a little rowdy. And Sonny, look along there. They have a student section along with them. That's something that you don't usually expect to see from these schools that are as far up north as Ogden is. Wilson coming back into the game, making a little substitution for the Dinos. Coming out in his stead will be Daxton Maurer. Maurer, a hard-hitting linebacker for this Dino squad, someone who you really like to see get involved in these plays.
1-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd and 9 for the Dinos. They break the huddle and come to the line of scrimmage. Ball sits on the far hash mark. Dinos go left to right on your dial. 2 receivers to the right side. Dunn goes that way. Still looking. He's going to tuck it in. Keeps it himself. Gets back to the line of scrimmage and then thrown out of bounds. No gain on the play. Coming up to make the tackle is Keen Crother.
And it was a good tone-setting block by Dexter Packard along the edge, but enough Ogden Tigers were there that it really nullified any effect that block was going to have. Dunn instead gets back to the line of scrimmage before being forced out of bounds. This line of scrimmage defense for Ogden has been relentless throughout the day, and that's what we expected coming into the contest.
Well, Dunn was rolling out. His receiver was covered.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing, too. They have a disciplined secondary to back up that aggressive blitz attack.
Shotgun formation for the Dinos, 3rd and 10. Give it to Packard. He's hit back at the 40-yard line. Great defensive play for Ogden. Coming up to make that play, Ethan Wardell, the junior.
Wardell comes flying in completely unblocked. Miscommunication there typically from the offensive line allows such a breakdown like that. Normally when you see a linebacker coming in, you're going to have a call you want to try and make to signal, hey, there's some danger coming and it's coming hot. We need to do something to shift and pick him up. But no such call was made and the Dinos get set back because of it.
4th and 14, shotgun formation. Going to go for it. Dunn's looking left. Now goes back right. Has Packard incomplete. Had to turn around for the ball. It went through his hands. So with 3:10 left to play in the first quarter, the Dinos turn it over on downs. It'll be first down Ogden.
And it was a tough series of events for Packard. He has to try and pivot to catch the ball. He's running his route, and the ball was now down near his knees at the time it reached him. So a lot to try and manage there, but just can't make the catch in a situation where he's probably going to be beating himself up watching film because of it.
First down 10. The ball sits on the 39-yard line. Ogden up 7-0, 3:10 first quarter. Trying to add to that, good defensive stand. They got the ball back.
They did, despite penalties that set them back.
Shotgun formation for Weston. Hands the ball off to Curry. Curry breaks one tackle, two tackles, into the secondary across the 45-50. Carbon Dino 45-yard line. Move the chains, a gain of 15 on the play.
Well, Sonny, when you have a running back who's moving like prime Adrian Peterson off the hand, moves right, sees things breaking down there, cuts a little left, tries to go middle, sees a few more breakdowns there, eventually is able to reverse field, go to the left side, and rush all the way for a first down. An impressive run by Curry.
Ball sits on the Dino 46, 1st and 10 after the good run. Weston in the shotgun, one receiver to the near side, one to the far side. Receiver in the slot, handoff goes up the middle to Crowther. He finds running room across the 35 down to the 33-yard line, knocked out of bounds. Not before he picks up another first down, gain 12.
And, Sonny, this is where we're seeing bad habits die hard for the Dinos. This was a problem against American leadership. The run up the middle was relentless for American leadership in that second half of the game. Ogden recognizing this early, and they're just pounding up the middle. They need to apply some pressure up there, maybe a blitz of some kind. Maybe you throw a stunt to make them think you're blitzing, but you need to find some answer.
The offensive line doing a good job blocking right now for the Tigers. First down and 10. Ball sits on the Dinos' 34-yard line. Shotgun formation once again for Weston. Weston has the ball off up the middle again to Crowther. He's got running room across the 30. Breaks a tackle 25 down to the 23. Be enough for another first down and move the chains again for the Tigers.
And Sonny, the difference I'm noticing in tackling is they're still making those gang tackles, but they're not making them after first contact like they were so efficiently against Moab. These running backs are able to break one tackle, move up an additional 5 yards, getting into that secondary before the rest of the gang catches up and are able to bring them down.
Good point. Yeah, you're definitely seeing that. Some breaking tackles by the running backs for the Tigers, and it's 1st and 10. Ball on the 23-yard line, 2:05 in running, first quarter. Tigers lead 7-0, trying to go for more here. Just outside the red zone, shotgun formation for Weston. He looks right, still looking right, under pressure. He'll be brought down. There's a flag comes in, brought down back at the 36-yard line, and a sack by the Carbon Dinos. It's Wilson in there along
Kiefer also getting in there, and he has been relentless off that left edge all season long. Sonny leads the team in sacks, adds another to his total with that one, splitting it with Wilson. Just relentless from that outside duo for Carbon. They're going to call a hold against the Tigers. They're going to decline that one.
Absolutely.
Definitely. You get the sack and you get the loss of down.
Yeah. You got a loss of 12 yards on the play and the down, so it'll be 2nd and 22.
That was the first pass attempt for Ogden this drive, Sonny, and it didn't work in their favor. At times you see why they stick to that run so heavily.
Trips come to the left side, the near side. Single receiver the far side. There's the snap, and Weston wants to throw. He's going to be pushed out of the pocket, finds some running room. Here comes another yellow flag. He gets down to the 25-yard line, but we'll see what the flag is.
And, Sonny, I'm not quite sure I agree with this if it is a holding call, especially if it goes against Keen Crowther. He had his guy pancaked, and he does what every coach tells him to do. You get up slow. You lay on him for a second, then you push up off them slowly, and then you roll off. And they are going to call a hold.
Yep, on Ogden. That flag sits on the 30. That's a spot foul. So that's going to move the ball back to the 40-yard line. So another penalty. That is 5 for 60 here in the first quarter for Ogden with 1:35 left to play in the first quarter. Then the Dinos trail 7-0.
And Sonny, just relentless defense and offense from Ogden, but they're setting themselves back with these undisciplined penalties. There are holds where I agree with the lineman in it. The great Joe Thomas always says the only difference between a good block and a hold is the flag. But there are times when it's a little more egregious, and we've been seeing more of that from Ogden.
2nd down, 27 yards to go. Weston wants to throw. He looks right in the pocket. Throws between the hash marks. Has a man open, and he has it at the 15-yard line. Nice catch by Jax Thompson, the junior. And that will be enough, I believe, for a first down. Depending on where they mark it, it's going to be just short.
And Sonny, when you have a third and long for Ogden, that's the one player you really need to be keeping your eyes on is Jack Thompson. He has been lights out in these deep situations where he's needed to be. And you look at the stats, and he leads this team in receiving yards, 166 coming to this game with a receiving touchdown. He's added 90 more and then some with an additional touchdown. So, Sonny, he's someone you got to watch.
So it goes from second and long to third and 1. And Weston goes under center with 2 running backs. Second man through, first down and more, across the 10, down to the 8-yard line. Ball carries Anderson Curry, the junior, and that'll be enough for a first down to move the chains for Ogden. First down and 10 with 24 seconds and running in the first quarter. That might be the last play of the first quarter. We'll see.
Depends on how aggressive Ogden would like to be, Sonny, but when you let them into a situation like that, you know this is a team who can run the ball. They're going to pick up at least 3 yards each go around. They get into a third and short situation. You know what's coming, but it's hard to stop.
They're going to let the clock run out, and we've played a quarter here at Carbon High School. It will be first and goal for Ogden when we come back from the Dino 9. They lead 7-0. Carbon Dino football, 95.3 The Peak. This is where the Dinos play.
Discover peace of mind with Don's Hometown Insurance, now even closer to home at their new location, 58 West Main Street in Price. Connect directly with friendly agents ready to tailor a package just for you. Imagine bundling your home, auto, and life insurance, simplifying your life while maximizing your savings. Experience personalized service designed to protect what matters most to you. Visit Don's Hometown Insurance today and feel the difference.
I'm Will Hinckley, number 66. I'm Cole Hinckley, number 72, and you're listening to 95.3 The Peak, where the Dinos play.
Welcome back, Carbon Dino football, 95.3 The Peak, where the Dinos play. 1 quarter in the book, and it's 7-0, but it's first and goal for Ogden, and the Dinos need a defensive stop here.
That they do, Sonny. That's been the one area that's been trying to keep them in this game, and they get into situations where it looks like the momentum's finally shifting in their way. You face a 2nd and 25, a 3rd and 19, but you got to give Ogden credit. They've taken those situations. They've hit a few home run plays, setting themselves up in much more manageable situations, or in the result of the 3rd and 19, a 90-yard touchdown.
Yep, some big plays by the offense of the Tigers so far here in the first quarter. We go to the second quarter. Under center goes Weston. One receiver comes to the near side. They go left to right on your dial. Handoff goes up the middle once again. It goes to Crowther. He fights his way down close to the goal line. We wait for a signal. It's going to be close.
And Sonny,
waiting touchdown.
Looking through my binocular view, that was definitely a touchdown. He was about a full body length into the end zone before his knee or elbow even touched the ground. So another touchdown for Ogden. This time they found a different way to batter the Dinos down, this time through the rushing attack, something which they didn't find much success on in their first possession, but that makes Ogden 2 of 2 on the day when they have the ball in their hands.
That makes it 13-0. Jackson Turner on to attempt the extra point.
And Sonny, he was lights out on that first one. Let's see if this different view is going to cause him any trouble.
Crowther will hold.
And we saw it on the kickoff. It caused him a little bit of trouble when it came to trying to get the place kickoff because he slipped a little bit on the field. And it was to the point where it didn't look like it was an intentional one.
Right. 13-0, 11:48 second quarter. Wait for the extra point. There's the snap. We have a dead ball, and it'll be offsides on the Dinos. So we'll see if this changes their mentality. Maybe go for 2 here. It goes half the distance to the goal. Let's see what they do.
And it's one of those ones where you wish you wouldn't have been called for the flag. You wish you could have been just a little bit quicker on the break because the Dinos would have had that one blocked had the result been allowed to stand. But instead, Ogden a little bit closer, half the distance to be exact. I'm no mathematician, Sonny, but if I'm an Ogden fan, I like those odds.
Yeah.
Well, looking at some scores around the state as we wait for the extra point over on our sister station, KOAL 107.3 FM and 750 AM. Beaver returns a kickoff all the way to the house to take a 14-7 advantage over the Spartans.
So they'll go for 2 now after the penalty. Weston with the quick pitch comes to the right side, gets around the corner, and scoring once again is Keen Crowther.
And Sonny, that was a name we said a lot last year when we were up in Ogden as he was just a junior. He was a nightmare running back to try and defend, and again, causing the Dinos a whole lot of problems tonight as Ogden jumps out to a 15-0 lead with 11:48 left to go here in quarter number 2 on Dino Field.
Well, let's go ahead and look at some more scores from around the state. As you said, Beaver up 14-7 over Emory.
Over in North St. Pete and Delta, a bit of a lightning delay there in the first quarter, but North St. Pete leading the Rabbits 7-0. End of one down in Grand, a team we are very familiar with. Gunnison up 13-0 over the Red Devils. Manti up 9-7 over Grantsville Sunny. Many are viewing this matchup as a potential state championship showdown. Manti really looking to be the front runner in our region this year.
Here it's 15-0 Ogden. And as you see the rain going right around us, I think we're going to make it through the game without any delay, I hope, it looks like.
And it sets us up with some beautiful scenery. So the sun
yes.
shining through that clouds.
Yep.
It's gorgeous down here.
So the Dinos will get the ball, and here's the kick. Short kick. Fielded by the up man for the Dinos. Finch breaks one tackle, won't break the second, and the Dinos will have it 1st and 10 on the 21-yard line.
Riker Rice, the sophomore, getting a little varsity action for himself and making the tackle against the Dinos, halting them at the 21-yard line. Sonny, it's a better field position than you'd get if you would have let it roll into the end zone, so you're going to be happy with that result. But the Dinos offense feels like they really need to find something quickly. Against ALA, they did find themselves down in the hole, and they were able to finally put something together, march down the field, and take an advantage. But Ogden, a much different team than ALA.
Yeah, biggest deficit that the Dinos have faced this year, 15-0. They trailed 7-0 to ALA and never trailed in the Grand game, so down 15-0. Let's see if they can get something going. Shotgun formation for Dunn, wants to throw. Throws between the hash marks, intercepted at the 30. 25-20 to the 15-yard line, and guess who it is? It's Keen Crowther with the interception. He's doing everything. Turnover for the Dinos and a 1st and 10 for Ogden.
He's done everything but kick tonight, Sonny, and I wouldn't be surprised to see if he could do that as well. Dunn was looking for Crespin along the middle on a bit of a seam route, on a bit of an in route along the outside, but throws it right down the middle. Crowther reads it like a book, snags it out of the air, and gets a nice little return. Ogden again in the red zone, and a chance to make it a much more daunting affair for the Dinos.
1st and 10, the ball sitting on the 16-yard line. So red zone territory once again for the Tigers. 11:34 left to play second quarter, 15-0. Ogden with the lead, looking for more shotgun formation for Blake Weston.
And Weston, he does a good job managing these games. He makes the right reads when he has the option, and he kind of knows how to navigate this field.
Weston wants to throw, looks right, under pressure. He'll go down back at the 33-yard line in the sack for the Carbon Dinos. Coming up to make that is Andy Kiefer once again. He's everywhere, a big sack, and it's going to be 2nd and long.
Andy Kiefer with the help of Alan Bueno rushing up the middle along that left side, applying so much pressure to Weston that he's unable to recover. That's the one flaw in Weston's game so far, is when he takes that snap, especially on a pass, he drops back so far, and if he gets brought down, Sonny, he gets brought down for a significant loss. 2nd and 25.
2nd and 25, but they have not had a problem overcoming these longs. Behind the chain, the quick pitch goes over to the left side, around the left side, and a nice tackle. Coming up to make the tackle for the Dinos, that is Caleb Sorensen.
And saying that was a textbook double-leg shot, and he brings him down with ease. When you have a running back who's running the ball as efficiently as Ogden is with their pair of backs, you want to take down the legs as quickly as you can. You can't go for any more shoulder pad tackles. You need to hit the legs, stop them from making any forward progress.
Pick up a 4. It'll be 3rd down, 21 yards to go for the Tigers. They break the huddle and come to the line of scrimmage. Ball sits on the far hash mark. They go left to right. 2 receivers near side, 2 receivers far side. Shotgun formation for Weston, wants to throw. Steps up in the pocket, now goes left. Has some running room. Across the 20 to the 15, brought down at the 12, and he'll be short of the 1st down, 4th down.
And that was Weston correcting his mistake. Instead of rushing backwards when he felt the pressure coming, he steps up in the pocket, navigates to the left side, finds a gap, and he's able to take it. And that shoulder at the end, Sonny, brutal to throw, especially by a quarterback with his throwing arm.
Tackle made by Chance Wood, so it'll be 4th down. We'll call it 4.
And Sonny, this is a situation where you can feel very comfortable doing just about anything. You're up 15-0. You found success in these late down situations. You know you can run the ball. The Dinos don't know what you're going to try and bring their way. You're playing with a loaded deck right now.
Trips to the near side. Weston in the shotgun. They go for it on 4th and 5. He'll roll that way. Rolls to the right. Wants to throw. Looking. Throws in the end zone. Open man. Touchdown.
Uncovered there. Nash Bockwalt, the junior tight end, stands at 6'3", Sonny. Makes him a pretty easy target above the rest of the defense. And Ogden, again, on that bootleg, gives them a lot of options. Weston, if it was uncovered, could rush and try and attempt to get the first down himself, but recognizes Bockwalt open in the end zone, able to snag it down and put them up 21-0 with 9:56 left to go in quarter number 2.
He rolled to his right, bought some time, showed some patience, found his receiver open in the back of the end zone and hit him for the touchdown, 21-0. Extra point is up, and it is good. 9:56 left to play, second quarter. Ogden 22, and the Carbon Dinos nothing when we come back. 95.3 The Peak, where the Dinos play.
Show your school spirit and support local high schools with the new Eastern Utah Community Credit Union debit and credit cards. Featuring designs for Carbon, Emory, and Grand High School, these cards let you carry a piece of your school's pride wherever you go. Plus, to make purchasing easier, Eastern Utah Community Credit Union has added the convenience of tap-to-pay and compatibility with major mobile wallets. Pick up your school spirit card today at any of the Eastern Utah Community Credit Union branches.
I'm Will Hinckley, number 66. I'm Cole Hinckley, number 72, and you're listening to 95.3 The Peak, where the Dinos play.
Nichols and O'Haron back to receive for the Carbon Dinos, getting ready to kick the ball away. Jackson Turner, 22-0 Ogden with the lead, and they've been able to make big plays, and we'll talk about that after this kick. Deep kick, filled it at the 5-yard line by the Dinos, 10, 15, 20. Nichols across the 20, 25-yard line, gets up to the 26. And that's where the Dinos will start from, 1st and 10. But it seems like Ogden has had success. The Dinos have got what they've wanted. They've had 2nd 24s, 3rd and 14s. But Ogden has been able to fight through that, get the first down, and keep the drive alive. And that's something that the Dinos have to stop. When you have a team behind the chains that far behind the chains, you got to get a defensive stop.
And, Sonny, it goes back to those 3 main categories we always talk about: turnovers, big plays, and penalties. Dinos winning the penalty battle. Ogden really playing some undisciplined ball, especially on the defensive side, but they're coming away with takeaways, and they're making the big plays when they have to.
Shotgun, trips go to the right side. Dinos go right to left. Handoff goes up the middle. Some running room across the 27 to the 29, maybe the 30. Pickup of probably 3 for the Dinos. It's Nichols, the ball carrier. It'll be second down and a long 7 for the Dinos with 9:33 and running left to play. First half, 22-0.
And Sonny, the Tigers just do not let up on the blitz. They continue to drive, and the 3-4 front is something we've seen take over high school football, especially here in Utah in recent years, because it allows so much versatility for those linebackers.
They play aggressive. Dinos with the ball, second down. We'll call it 7. 2 receiver to the right side. Man in motion for the Dinos is Maurer. Goes to the slot. Back to throw. Throws to Wilson. Flag comes in right when the ball is caught. A flag comes in. Caught at the 30-yard line. Pickup of a yard on the play, but we'll see what the flag is.
And Maddox Wilson drags Keen Crowther along. That's a match of titans right there. Wilson able to outmuscle him, but Crowther slows him down just enough for the rest of the Ogden defense to catch up and bring him to the ground before no gain. But we'll see what this flag does to the Dinos' chances.
Wait and see what the penalty is. Going to be marked off against the Dinos. I was wondering if they were going to accept that penalty.
I was wondering too, Sonny, because it's an interesting one. Looks like the loss of down will stay in effect. Set them up with a much more daunting third and 13 to go.
So the Dinos now have 4 penalties for 17 yards. Third down, we'll call it 14 for the Dinos. 8:48 and running left to play.
And Coach Milovich has done on the sideline, trying to draw something up, realizing they're running out of time on that game clock. Wisely call a timeout. We've talked about it before. You use those timeouts a little bit differently in the first half than you do in the second. You can afford to use them to take a quick break like that to try and draw things up. Really make yourself a lot more available, but some frustration showing in the body language of the Dinos as they come back to the huddle.
So with 8:46 left to play in the first half, we'll take a quick break. The Dinos trailing 22-0, third down 13.
Hey there, food lovers. It's Bill Hicks from Farlano's Cafe, your new favorite spot for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Whether you're craving a hearty omelet, a fresh salad, our golden curly fries, or our mouth-watering pastas, we've got you covered. And we're open 7 days a week. So come on down to Farlano's Cafe, where every meal is a celebration. Remember, it's where the locals eat. Visit us at Farlano's, where great food and great company come together. See you soon.
Carbon High School football on KRPX 95.3 The Peak.
So we're back. Third down, 13 yards to go for the Carbon Dinos.
And the Dinos have a long way to try and travel, and Ogden's defense has just been relentless and not allowing much on anything. Gains of 3 and 4 have where these plays have maxed out.
Trips to the one side. It's a little flea flicker play down the sidelines. Packer down to the 40, 35-30, knocked out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Caught by Wilson. He flips it to Packer. A big play for the Carbon Dinos and move the chains on a first down.
A little hook and ladder action a la Boise State, Sonny. You got to love when those plays work out. They find Wilson in the flat. He makes the catch. The defenders draw around him immediately. He flips the ball to Packard and flips the field entirely. The Dinos finding themselves with a little life, a little rejuvenation after that big play. I gotta give a lot of credit to Coach Milovich on that one. That's a gutsy call to make.
Great play call. Move the chains on the first down for the Dinos. They needed that. Shotgun formation. Trips to the right side. Aiden looks that way. Throws. Caught at the 20-yard line down to the 17. Pickup of 9, 2nd and 1. So Jaden looked that way. Found his receiver. First, 2nd down and 1 for the Carbon Dinos. Nice play by Dunn.
That was a really good play by Dunn, Sonny. He's bounced back from that interception so well, finding some success, especially with that hook and ladder, buying them a lot of time. And since then, the grooves have just kept on rolling.
First down for the Dinos. Ball sitting on the 17-yard line, moving the ball. Shotgun formation for Dunn. Wants to throw in the pocket. Throws between the hash marks. Over the middle, incomplete. Flag comes in. Ball was intended for Wilson. Flag comes in. That's going to be interference, I'm pretty sure, on the Tigers.
It's going to be against Jaden Long. He gets his hand up there, tries to bring Wilson to the ground almost immediately as he launches to try and make the diving catch. Again, undisciplined play from the secondary especially has been the story of the game for Ogden. A dominating offense and a strong defense that has been haltered by careless penalties. But, you know, Sonny, this is the level of football where you are a little more okay. I wouldn't say okay necessarily, but you're more okay with giving away those pass interferences because on other levels, that's a spot foul, and that's always rough. So in a high school game, if you have a choice between giving up 15 yards or giving up a touchdown, you're going to take the 15 yards every time.
It's going to be half the distance to the goal. So it remains first down, but about 2. Second down and 2. Shotgun formation for the Dinos. Dunn hands the ball off. Here's a little reverse to Wilson. He finds some running room, gets down inside the 5. It'll be first and goal for the Dinos.
And that little reverse has been the Dinos' bread and butter when they need something to get going on early. 3 rush attempts for Wilson throughout this game so far, only 8 yards. So Ogden's defense has been stifling on the run. That's where they've seen a lot of success. It's when the Dinos try to pass that Ogden has found some mixed results, mainly when it comes to getting penalties.
First and goal. Ball sits on the 5-yard line. Dinos trying to get on the scoreboard, trailing 22-0. This could put them right back in this game, Aiden. This is a big play.
Yeah, this feels like it could swing the momentum back in Carbon's favor, especially after a quarter and a half where it felt like things were getting hopeless.
Dunn wants to throw, and he's sacked back at the 17-yard line, loss on the play. Second down, and now it makes it second and long on the sack, all the way back to the 17, so second and goal.
And Sonny, we've seen both quarterbacks kind of struggle with the same thing, taking dropbacks a little too far. You reach a certain point where you want to take your typical 3-step, 5-step drop back, and then that's when you want to start climbing the pocket. You want to start trying to navigate that defense. The further and further you get back, the more and more pressure they can afford to apply, and the more likely it is that you're going to be brought down for a loss.
Trips coming to the near side. Downs go right to left on your radio dial. Done with the ball. In the middle of the field, throws between the hash marks, incomplete, third down.
Bounces off the hands of Crespin, and it's a very fortunate thing for Carbon that there was no one in the vicinity to try and play that tip drill, because that would have been an easy interception for Ogden had anyone been in the vicinity.
Yeah, that's one of those plays between the hash marks. When that ball gets tipped in the air, that's usually danger for the offense.
And we've seen both teams do it so far this game. Dinos had a tip drill that they weren't able to come up with earlier in the game. Now Ogden on the receiving end of that very same situation.
Dinos had the ball first and goal on the 5. The sack brings it back. Now it's third down and goal on the 17. Dunn wants to throw. Ball caught down at the 5-yard line. Gets it back to the original line of scrimmage. It's going to make it fourth down for the Dinos.
Making the catch on that one, Sonny. Colton Finch able to come up with the reception, moves them into much more manageable position back within the 10-yard line, but a fourth down situation at what one point Sonny looked like a guaranteed touchdown for Carbon has quickly turned into decision time for Coach Milovich and the offense.
Timeout Carbon, 6:29 left to play, 22-0. Fourth down and goal on the 7-yard line. See if they decide to kick a field goal here or go for it on fourth down 22-0.
It's always a tough call trying to do it, Sonny. And, you have a kicker who you can rely on, Eli Chili, been very good for the Dinos when it comes to PAT game. And you're in that very similar range where it's definitely manageable for a kicker, but at the same time, you want to find yourself with a little more points from this prolonged drive. Clock has ticked for a bulk of this drive, Sonny. A good ground game from Carbon, but with time starting to tick down in the first half, it's time you got to try and make a move.
Well, the field goal still makes it a 3-score game.
It does.
So
you want to try and take it.
And if you don't get it here, it's a big field for Ogden to go the other way. But let's see what the Dinos decide to do. If they try to get points on the board, if they go for it, here they come out. 6:29 left to play in the second quarter. The Dinos will go for it. Shotgun formation. Dunn wants to throw. Throws. Intercepted on the 5-yard line. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, and brought down by Dunn. Makes a great saving tackle. But we go back the other way, and the interceptions by Jaden Long and the turnover for the Dinos, and it's Ogden ball.
Well, Sonny, we said it was a long field for the Ogden if they were able to get the stop there. Well, they get the stop, and they flip the field back into their own territory. A bulldozing play by Ogden, coming away with the pick against Dunn, returning it to near midfield. We got a flag on the field, though, but either way, Ogden's going to be feeling pretty good about where they're set up. And a face mask call against the Dinos is going to move Ogden 15 yards closer. That's the opposite of what Carbon would have liked to see here. They wanted to see that flag go in their favor one more time, try and push them back into Dino territory, but Ogden marches 15 yards further down the field. But a great saving tackle by Dunn to stop the 6-6. He had the speed to get there, good pursuit angle, and they were able to bring him down, but not before Ogden sets up at the 30.
He stays with the play and saves the touchdown. First down and 10. Ball sits on the 30. Weston's going to keep it himself. Finds a bit of a hole. Gets the 25. Picks up half of it. Second down. We'll call it 5. Maurer, I believe, to make the stop for the Carbon Dinos. It was, and it'll be 2nd and 5.
And it was a good draw by Weston, too. He does a good job stepping back 2-3 steps, going into a pass set before immediately going to his run and finding a hole for a nice 5-yard gain. Sonny, Ogden's offense has been clicking throughout, even when they find themselves in major situations like 3rd 19, 2nd 25. They've been able to find their way out of those holes very efficiently.
5:40 in running. It's 22-0 Ogden with the lead in the ball. Shotgun formation. Weston hands the ball off. This time nothing doing. Nice tackle by the Dinos. Coming up, it's Andy Kiefer.
Who else but Andy Kiefer along the left edge. Sonny, he is a nightmare to try and stop. You can't hook him. You can't drive him forward. All you got to do when you go against him is pray that you can slow him down just enough that he's not going to be able to reach the ball carrier.
3rd down 7. Down to 5:13 left to play in the first half. Dinos get a stop here and put up some points on the board.
That's what
still a ball game.
It's still a ball game, especially if they can follow that sequence of events you just laid out. You go into this with it being a 2-score affair.
Wants to throw, quick throw out. It is caught by Thompson. Thompson finds a little bit of running room, but good defense by the Dinos to come up to stop that play. It's going to be 4th and 4.
And so that's one of the first successful jet screens we've seen at Dino Field all season long. A good throw by Weston to set up that run and a good block along the outside. 4th and 4, Sonny. I wouldn't be surprised to see Ogden go for it, especially since they've been picking up 4 to 5 yards on each run.
Sandoval in on the tackle along with the couple other Dino players, so it's going to be 4th down 4. 4:25 in running left to play. 22-0 Tigers. Threatening again here, 4th and 4, and they will go for it. Shotgun formation for Weston. Wants to throw, looking left, now throws between the hash marks, has a man wide open at the 5, touchdown.
Julian Ramos, the junior wide receiver. No one within 10 feet of him as he makes his way to the back of the end zone. Sonny, that's another blown coverage for the Dinos in a major situation.
Yeah, touchdown for Ogden, and they are, that was a 28-yard touchdown pass.
At 28 yards out on a 4th down, Sonny. Ogden, in these situations where most teams would back down, you'd see a few more mental errors. They have been lights out. And another opportunity for a kick and a chance to go up 29-0 with 4 minutes left here in the first half. Sonny, this is the biggest deficit of the Dino season and the first time they've been held scoreless in the first half so far this season. Looking to flip that script around as they receive the ball after the extra point.
Turner with the extra point to make it 29-0 in favor of Ogden with 4:05 left to play here in the first half. Nice play and a good look that time by Weston. He stood in the pocket, stepped up, waited till Brockwald got open, and delivered the pass for the touchdown.
And they were able to do that just perfectly. And Brockwald has found himself in that situation where he's been able to operate without people within 5 to 10 yards of him, especially when they get to the end zone, those red zone sets, mainly because on their normal offense, he's used typically more as a blocker for the run game. So when he breaks out for a pass, it's something the Dino defense doesn't necessarily expect to see.
Yeah, he just released and snuck right between the hash marks. Nice pass by Weston. 29-0, 4:05 left to play. Dinos will get the football.
And they're going to need to take advantage of this possession, Sonny, or else this game feels like it's going to start running away from them. We talked about it. If they were able to get the stop there and go down and score, it was going to still feel like a ball game. Now 1 score away from being in the mercy rule and running clock in the second half. The Dinos need to find something this drive to put that away.
They've had some opportunities, just haven't been able to put points on the board. There's the kick, fielded at the 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Down the sidelines goes Nichols. He will take it to the house. Touchdown for the Dinos. 90-yard kick return for the Carbon Dinos, and it's exactly what they needed, 29-6.
And filling in for the injured Tager Timothy in that kickoff slot, making some magic happen right when they needed to. The shutout is no more, and the Dinos have found something on special teams, finding the back of the end zone with 3:52 left to go in quarter number 2, right when they needed it, Sonny. We were talking about it. It felt like it was do or die time, and the Dinos said, this is our time to go and do, and Nichols takes it back to the house.
Around the 10-yard line, right?
Yeah, filled it at about the 10-yard line. Special teams, Nichols weaves, winds, gets an opening, and he, with a burst of speed, he gets all the way to the end zone. Little confusion on the special teams. Maddox Wilson again pointing to the sideline, pulling his players out. He's trying to communicate. Again, a great leader we have in Maddox Wilson.
Whistle. Silly will kick the extra point for the Carbon Dinos. We have a timeout, Carbon.
Yeah, and that was
29-6.
That was a good move to call, Sonny. I don't think that was going to reach the long snap or the holder's hands and Chile the chance to kick it before that play clock would run down. But wise call by the Dinos, but takes one more timeout away from them as we get into the later stages of this first half of play.
Eli Silly, the kicker junior, wearing number 4, will come on to attempt the extra point for the Carbon Dinos.
Yeah, he's done an excellent job, Sonny. He's got a soccer background, so Chile able to find his spot, and we saw him split reps with Timothy in that game against Grand, and with Timothy out, all the weight of the leg falls on him, and he's with that soccer background, you feel pretty confident in his ability to boot the ball through the uprights.
Well, it's nice to have two players that can kick the football, because in high school sometimes you have some teams that they don't have a kicker. We have the luxury of having 2.
I know, and that's something that Carbon always has found themselves with the luxury of having, and especially when both are juniors, you have a lot of room to grow and a lot of room to develop that special teams unit, an area which Carbon in recent years has found their most success with.
Chile will kick the extra point for the Carbon Dinos, 29-6. The snap. The set, the kick is up. Kick is good.
And a beautiful boot through the uprights for Carbon. Makes it a 29-7 ball game with 3:52 left, Sonny. Ogden probably raring to score, though, as they get the ball back.
So the Dinos get what they needed. They needed a big play. They get the kick return. 29-7. What do you do here? You kick it onside here and maybe try to keep the momentum on your side. You kick it away.
I think you go for the onside, Sonny. You need that little bit of trickery, especially when you're finding things that are working now. And if you can go down and score, make not into that lead just a little bit more as halftime rapidly approaches, that's what you're going to do. And especially with how efficient Ogden's offense has been throughout the game, you don't want to give them very many opportunities to do it, which is the risky side of going for this onside kick, I will admit.
You kick onside here, you don't get it. They get great field position with 3:52 left to play here in the first half. Let's see what they decide to do here. Down 29-7. I'd kick it away if it's me.
It's a tough decision, but luckily a call we don't have to make up here in the booth.
Nope.
We're free from that. We can wash our hands of it, and we can critique whatever happens.
Yep. Kicked by Chile, and he'll squib kick it. Nice kick. Bounces down to about the 12-yard line. Picked up there by Thompson. Goes to the 20. Gets to the outside 25-30. Gets to the corner 35-40, 45-50. Knocked out of bounds. They're going to mark him at the 49-yard line of Ogden. First down. So a good return by Thompson. Gives Ogden good field position anyway.
And a little hesitation move by Thompson near the 20-yard line is what made the difference there. He's able to fake out one defender, secure himself the edge as the Carbon player thinks he is going back inside, able to burst back outside, get near the 50-yard line. Ogden, like you said, setting up where they would if it were to be an onside kick.
Yeah, he takes it to the far side, goes to the outside, and gets the corner and gets a nice kick return. First down and 10. Ball sits on their own 49.
And the thing was, it was a good kick, too, just a better return by Ogden.
Shotgun formation for Weston. Hands it off up the middle. Some running room across the 45. Fights his way down to the 42. Close to first down, going to be about a yard short. Second down.
Making that run, Keen Crowther, the do-it-all player for the Tigers. We've seen him do just about everything, Sonny. He's getting interceptions on defense. He's rushing into the end zone for touchdowns. He's been all over the field for Ogden, one of those key players we talked about coming into this game.
You mentioned Crowther in the pregame show, and we've said his name quite a bit.
That we have.
Shotgun formation, second down 1. 3:04 and running left to play. First half, handoff, bobbled a little bit, but regains it. Does Curry, and it's enough for a first down.
And they just run the ball up the middle. They're a grit and grind team through and through, Sonny. But when you're able to pick up 5 to 6 yards a carry, you really find yourself not having to rely on the pass game at all.
First down 10. Ball sits on the 37. Carbon Dino football, 95-3 the Peak, where the Dinos play. 2:45 in running. 29-7 game. Dinos get that big kick return. Get that goose egg off the board and make it a 22-point game. Need to get a stop here. Under center, this time it's Weston. Quick pitch goes to the right side. A little bit of yardage, about half of the 10, pick up a 5. By Curry, it'll be second down and 5 for Ogden with 2:27 knocked out of bounds, stopping the clock.
And I got to give a lot of credit on the offensive line to Ryan Kirkland playing right tackle. He's able to secure that edge beautifully with a hook block each time, force the defender's shoulder to the inside, and it really opens up that outside run that Ogden has been feasting off of as of late.
Give him a pickup of 6. They mark him on the 31-yard line, 2nd and 4. Weston in the shotgun. In the pocket, quick throw out to the left side. The ball is caught, which he should have just let that hit the ground because he caught it on his knees. And in high school football, you're down, so it's a loss of 3. He'd been better off just letting that ball hit the ground.
Yeah, and it's that wide receiver instinct that kicks in. You see the ball come towards your hands. Instinct takes over. You're going to come up with the catch 9 times out of 10, but I completely agree with you. Would have been much more in Ogden's interest to drop the ball.
3rd down 7.
And this is the situation we've seen Ogden become very dangerous in these down and distance situations. They've been able to really capitalize on the Dinos' defense.
Ball sits on the far hash mark. Handoff up the middle. Goes to Curry again. He'll fight for that first down yardage, and it depends on where they mark it. And if they mark it where I think they are, it's going to be enough for a first down. And it will be. Move the chains in a first down.
And, Sonny, rarely do you see a team on 3rd and 7 call a run up the gut, but that's how efficient Ogden has been on those types of plays and how lacking Carbon's defense has been in trying to stop the middle run. And we saw it against ALA. That was where the most damage was done by the Eagles up the middle with the running back, and Ogden capitalizing on that time and time again.
So it was 3rd and 7. He got 7.5. Move the chains, first down. Shotgun for Weston, wants to throw. Stands in the pocket, goes down the left sidelines, has a man incomplete. Double team, though. He had a man there, but it would have had to be a picture-perfect pass because the defense for the Carbon Dinos was right where they needed to be, second down.
Yeah, Sonny, it was just relentless pressure coming by way of Cameron Rigby alongside Caleb Sorensen in the backfield, making those stops.
1 minute 15 left to play, 29-7. 2nd and 10.
And the clock stops running on the incomplete pass, working in Ogden's favor.
2 receivers come to the right side, 1 to the left side. They go left to right. Shotgun formation for Weston. Man in the slot, man in motion goes Thompson. Over the top of the quarterback, the ball bounces back at the 45-yard line, picked up, and then sacked back at the 48-yard line. And that's a huge defensive play for the Dinos. The bad snap, the Dinos take advantage of it on the defensive side. And once again, it's going to be 3rd and a long ways to go for Ogden, but they've had success in these situations.
And, Sonny, sometimes those centers get a little bit antsy. Snap the ball over the quarterback's head. This time, Maddox Wilson able to capitalize on that, bringing down Weston way, way, way back in no man's land.
So the ball sits on the 47. They have to get to the 17. So it's going to be 3rd and 30. For Ogden, they call timeout.
Probably a wise move. You got to drop something special for a play this deep.
Dinos get the ball to start the second half.
That they do, and that's something they're gonna have to try and take advantage of. They found good success on that kick return by Nichols, taking it 90 yards to the house. You hope they can find some similar success and at least set themselves up in their own territory within their 50-yard line.
So let's do a set of the game here. 1 minute 7 left to play in the second quarter, 29-7. Ogden with the lead. They have the ball, 3rd down 30. Ball sitting on the Carbon 47-yard line. Shotgun formation for the Tigers. Weston has about 5 yards back, has 2 receivers to the near side, 2 to the far side. 1 running back stands to his right. Man in motion comes towards us. There's the snap. Weston rolls to his right, wants to throw. Stops, throws back against the grain. Has a man. It's intercepted by the Dinos. Back at the 22-yard line, a flag comes in.
Making that play, Sonny, coming up with the pick. Caleb Sorensen, the senior defensive back, snags it out of the air. And it would be a holding call against Ogden. Of course, they're going to decline because now they get the ball back with a minute left. The first turnover for Ogden this game, and the Dinos have a lifeline with a minute left.
Now the Dinos can get, with a minute left, make something happen here, and they get the ball back in the second half. It could change this game huge, with a minute left to play. Let's see if the Dinos try to do something here if they play it safe since they get the ball in the second half. You don't want to give anything away either down on the 22-yard line. So let's see what they do.
Yeah, it's a major moment for the Dinos, Sonny. Decision-making time for Coach Milovich and the offense.
Dinos break the huddle down 29-7 with exactly a minute left to play first half. Nice play by Sorensen.
Yeah, beautiful read on the ball, comes up with it, and comes right back down to earth.
Wants to throw. Out in the flat to Wilson. Here's that same play. Hook and ladder. This time Ogden stops it, but not before an 8-yard gain. But it doesn't break open down the sidelines this time. Second down, we'll call it 2.
Yeah, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Ogden not wanting to be fooled twice in a row by the hook and ladder. This time shutting it down for only an 8-yard gain. But 8 yards the Dinos can continue to capitalize on as that clock continues to tick down within half a minute now.
32 seconds in running. Trips go to the far side. Shotgun formation. Dunn wants to throw. Looks left, looking for Wilson. Throws. He's hit as he throws the ball, and it is intercepted. Back at the 46-yard line, and they will take over. Will Ogden with 14 seconds left to play.
And Jaden Long, the senior defensive back, coming up with that one. It was a swarm of bodies, most of them wearing white jerseys as they tried to throw the ball downfield. But like you said, Dunn was hit as he threw that. Definitely throws the trajectory off just a little bit. Makes it easier to read for the defense. With 14 seconds left, Sonny, do you think Ogden takes one more home run swing for the fences, or do you think they play it safe and let the clock tick down?
Probably go for one big play. You're right, though. Dunn got hit, and there were 3 defenders there anyway. If he could have got that ball to Wilson, he might have been able to make the play. But when you get hit when you're throwing the ball, it's always going to come up short.
Yeah, no, and it makes it a whole lot easier, a whole lot less challenging for the defense to try and make something happen with it.
Shotgun. Weston wants to throw. Rushed out of the pocket, comes to the right side. Still looking. Now goes back left. Grab. Gets away from one tackle. Still on his feet. Rolling to the left side, gets away from another tackle, finally goes down at the 46-yard line, and that's how the half will end. But give Weston credit. He made that play last as long as he possibly could. The quarter comes to an end, and it's halftime here at Carbon High School. 29-7 the score. Ogden with the lead. Dinos get the ball back when we start the second half.
And how did he get the ball back to the line of scrimmage? That was the most impressive part. He was breaking tackles left and right. What we thought was going to be 2 to 3 plays to end the half quickly turned into just 1.
Castle Valley Orthodontics halftime show coming up next. 29-7 Ogden. It's halftime.
Hi, I'm Dr. Daniel Kelly, owner of Castle Valley Orthodontics. What's keeping you from having a perfect smile? We understand what you want from a local orthodontist. And here at Castle Valley Orthodontics, you'll be treated like family. Call Castle Valley Orthodontics at 637-2222 for a free consultation.
Discover the strength and beauty of Flawless Sheeting's metal siding and roofing solutions. Designed to endure and crafted to conserve energy, the products offered by Flawless Sheeting ensure your home not only looks good, but feels good too. Plus, they come with a 40-year warranty. Enjoy superior durability and enhanced comfort year-round with new roofing from Flawless Sheeting. Ready to upgrade? Call Flawless Sheeting at 636-7300 and elevate the way you live.
You see your friends with their new travel trailers, four-wheelers, and side-by-sides. They're living the dream, right? Well, it doesn't just have to be a dream. You can start living that same dream life today by starting your new career with GMS Mine Repair and Maintenance. GMS is hiring mechanics, electricians, fabricators, experienced and inexperienced miners. They offer high starting wages, benefits, a 401k, and vacation pay. Local jobs are available. Apply today. Email your resume to kbarker@gmsminerepair.com. The dream can be yours with GMS Mine Repair.
We're
we're not going out on a limb when we say...
I want to go to Juniper.
Juniper Kitchen. Fantastic food, fun atmosphere. Known for their made-from-scratch pizzas, Juniper has the very best pastas, burgers, salads, wraps, hoagies, paninis, appetizers, loaded sodas, desserts, vegan and vegetarian options. Dine in for lunch or dinner, Tuesday through Friday, 11 till 8. Saturdays, noon till 8. Order online at juniperkitchenutah.com with DoorDash delivery. Stop beating around the bush for a great meal.
I want to go to Juniper.
Juniper Kitchen and Price.
You're looking for somewhere you could be proud to work. Komatsu is looking for you. Komatsu is a leading manufacturer of construction, mining, forestry, and industrial heavy equipment. Komatsu currently has openings for seasoned welders, journeyman electricians, and MSHA certified electricians, as well as master machinists. At Komatsu, not only will your skills be rewarded with competitive wages, but you'll also enjoy benefits like a robust 401k plan. Grow with Komatsu. Go to komatsu.com or call Tanner at 636-6150.
The more things change,
the more they stay the same.
Yes, Mr. Automotive has a new building in Huntington.
But that just means the services they offer just got better.
Detailing and mechanic work are being added to the already great service Mr. Automotive had already offered.
And all deals are still done with the owner at the lowest prices possible.
New building, same best prices, and more auto services. Go to MrAutomotiveSales.com or stop by the dealership, 21 South Main, Huntington. Mr. Automotive, the best for less.
Welcome to the Carbon Dinos Halftime Report, brought to you by Castle Valley Orthodontics. Call 637-2222 and schedule your free consultation for a smile that will last a lifetime.
Welcome to the Castle Valley Orthodontics Halftime Show. 29-7, Ogden with the lead over the Carbon Dinos. It's halftime, and the halftime entertainment at Carbon High School, always excellent.
It is, Sonny, the drill team, the cheer team, and I'm excited to see the next act in the marching band making their way to Washington, D.C. very quickly here as a part of their trip to D.C. tour. They're just such a stellar group, Sonny. You can tell why they've been back-to-back state champions the past few years. I love watching all of these groups play. But, Sonny, this is only the halftime show, and it's going to be an uphill battle for the Dinos when they retake the field in approximately 12 minutes.
Yeah, I think the first possession of the second half is huge for the Carbon Dinos. I mean, they can get a touchdown. The first possession of the second half, it's a two-possession game.
Yeah, it's still manageable, but they're going to have to find something because offensively, Sonny, the most yardage they've been able to see and has come from penalties. Their run has been shut down, and defensively, pass-wise, Ogden has been making great reads. They've done a good job reaching the quarterback. They've come up with a few takeaways, and that's really spelled disaster for a Dinos offense, which up until this point hadn't seen much adversity.
Yeah, let's give Ogden credit. The defense, they have played good. They've made it really difficult on the Dinos to really get into any rhythm.
Yeah, I think good is an understatement. They have been lights out, Sonny. The only time the Dinos have been able to find themselves on the scoring end was that 90-yard kickoff from Jordan Nichols. And you got to give him a lot of credit, too. He weaved, he whined. He's filling in for an injury in that kickoff return position. Gets all the way to the end zone to get the Dinos their first points and avoid the shutout as they enter the half.
Take a look at some team stats in the first half, penalty-wise. The Dinos 5 for 32, 6 for 70 for Ogden, and some of those penalties were huge on the Ogden side, but you know what? They were able to battle through them. It put them behind the chains. They still got first downs, and they still stopped the Dinos. So the penalties, which could have been bad for Ogden, they've really overcome them.
Yeah, and that's a sign of a good team. Sonny, we talked about it game one against ALA when the Dinos had 5 turnovers. It's hard to overcome that kind of deficit, but good teams find a way to make that happen. And tonight, Ogden has been the better team, especially when it comes to that, because we look at those 3 stats we're always preaching on. Right. The turnovers, the big plays, and the penalties. Ogden very easily losing that penalty battle, but when it comes to big plays, they have a distinct advantage there. And when it comes to turnovers, they've held themselves to nothing, or they've held themselves to just the lone interception.
Yes.
But they've come away with about 3 from the Dinos.
It's 3-1 on the turnover side. Carbon with 3, Ogden with 1. First downs, both teams with 6. At the end of 1, it was 7-0 Ogden. Ogden outscores the Dinos 22-7 in the second, and that's where we sit here at the half. It's 29-7. The Tigers with the lead over the Dinos.
And a part of the reason why those first down stats are so similar is Carbon starts their possessions near the 20-yard line. Ogden is set up near midfield almost every time, whether it be to getting a good return on the kick, whether they get the turnover. They've been able to really capitalize on good field position from Carbon. That's something that you really need to find a way to turn around as you go into the second half as a way to shore up that special teams unit, because that's where the damage really gets started for Ogden.
We'll look at scoring here. In the first quarter, a 90-yard pass from Weston to Thompson. With 9:50 left to play in the first quarter, making it 6-0. Extra point by Turner was good, and it was 7-0. Now, it looked like that was going to be a field position win for the Dinos, and it ends up being a 90-yard play for a touchdown.
And, that is something that you like to see. You want to see them get some momentum going. And it looked like they were going to continue that momentum. They come up with the interception with about a minute left, but then Dunn gets hit as he's throwing downfield, results in an easy interception for the Tigers. They aren't able to capitalize on that turnover either, though, as the clock ticks down to 0 before anyone could get anything accomplished.
So it's 7-0 after 1, and then in the second quarter, Crowther with the 9-yard touchdown run. 11:48 left to play in the second quarter. The 2-point conversion good after the penalty. They were going to go for the 1. Then the Dinos were offsides, moved it half the distance. They go for 2. It's successful, and it makes it 15-0.
And Keaton Crowther really showed off his running prowess on that one. We saw him do a lot of damage on the inside, but that one, it was a pitch to him on the right outside corner, able to get the edge and waltz into the end zone nearly untouched.
Then with 9:56 left to play in the second quarter, 11-yard touchdown pass by Weston to Brockwald, and the extra point by Turner is good, and it's 22-0.
And it's just hard to it's hard to come back from that, especially as you go into the later stages of this game. An uphill battle for the Dinos. Like I said, they're going to have to be doing something to try and get going early on. And like you said earlier, if they're able to capitalize on this opening drive and come away with the score, if it's a 2-possession ball game, they're still right in it.
Then Weston to Brockwald once again with 4:05 left to play in the second quarter. Extra point by Turner is good, makes it 29-0.
And, it felt like at that point the Dinos needed to accomplish something, anything to try and get that score evened up.
And then Nichols with the big kick return for the Carbon Dinos, 85 yards, makes it 29-6. Chili with the extra point, and that's where we sit at the half. It's 29-7 in favor of Ogden. Dinos get the ball back to start the second half. You're listening to the Castle Valley Orthodontics halftime show, and Aiden, in the second half on the offensive side of the ball for the Dinos, what would you like to see the Dinos do? They got to get something going offensively. They had a couple of big plays, but they haven't been able to put any points on the board on the offensive side.
And it's going to start up front, Sonny. You need more communication from your offensive line, especially when you're playing a blitz-centric team like the Ogden Tigers. You need to have more calls to Superman to push out, pick up blitzing linebackers, because that 3-4 front is so versatile when it comes to applying pressure to offenses. You need to have a little more communication out there, send some push calls, have that tackle move out to pick up a linebacker, have some switches. When you drop back into a pass, you can't afford to go into an empty set. That's when Ogden has been able to apply the most pressure. You need to leave a back there. Packard has shown he's up to the task to try and block oncoming lineman. You want to set him up in a position to succeed there, so you want to leave him in front of Dunn to try and protect him and buy him as much time as possible. And if you're Dunn, you want to recognize that you have to get that ball out quickly, because Ogden comes ferociously off the snap and they're in your face almost before you get a chance to take a breath. So if you're Dunn, you want to try and get that ball off as quickly as possible. But you also need to be aware of what situation you find yourself in. You also don't want to be dropping back as far. You want to climb that pocket instead of dropping back.
The biggest offensive play of the game for the Dinos, the hook and ladder.
That was an impressive play by the Dinos. That's where a bulk of their yards have come from, Sonny. Able to move the ball down the field. That set's done up with his passing yard stat of 95 yards as we enter into the half. he has a bit of an uphill battle to climb, him alongside the rest of the offense. They need to get something going. Mainly, Sonny, I want to see them establish the run. That's when they're bread and butter throughout the season, and they've been forced to go away from that tonight, much to the benefit of Ogden. If the Dinos can find a way to run that ball, go back to the ground and pound style that we saw in games 1 and 2, I think they can find themselves a way to claw back into this game.
So the Dinos come back on the field. We're about 4 minutes from the second half. We'll take a break here on the Castle Valley Orthodontics halftime show. It's Ogden 29 and the Carbon Dinos 7 here on 95.3 The Peak, where the Dinos play.
Hi, I'm Dr. Daniel Kelly, owner of Castle Valley Orthodontics. What's keeping you from having a perfect smile? We understand what you want from a local orthodontist. And here at Castle Valley Orthodontics, you'll be treated like family. Call Castle Valley Orthodontics at 637-2222 for a free consultation.
Imagine a smooth, hassle-free journey to the front door of your new home with the Driggs Mortgage Team guiding you every step of the way. Hi, this is Greg Driggs. Our seasoned experts understand the ins and outs of home financing and refinancing. Come visit us at our new permanent address, 8 East Main in Price, where we plan to be a staple for years to come. Start your journey today. Call 801-427-3577. The Driggs Mortgage Team, NMLS number 272076, Equal Housing Opportunity. Driggs Mortgage Team is a DBA of Premier Mortgage Resources, LLC, NMLS 1169.
In the heart of Carbon and Emery counties, Quick Realty is here to help you make the right move. Experience the future of home buying with our Matterport 3D tours, giving you an immersive look at your potential home from anywhere. Meet our dedicated team of local professionals, just real people who care, walking you through every step of the way. As a Zillow Premier and Realtor.com specialist, Quick Realty is your trusted expert, handling everything from residential, commercial, and mountain properties to property management. Your dream home is just a call away. Let Quick Realty help you find it.
You're listening to Carbon Dino Football on The Peak, KRPX 95.3 FM.
Welcome back to the Castle Valley Orthodontics halftime show. 29-7 the score. Dinos trail Ogden here in the first half. Ogden behind the chains quite a bit on the offensive side, but they overcome the situations, put points on the board. Now the Dinos get the ball to start the second half. It's huge that they have a big possession here to start this second half and cut into this 29-7 lead.
And that's what impressed me most about Ogden was their ability to overcome long down and distance. You're running through third down, second down, and deep situations. They've been able to find not just first downs, but touchdowns in a few cases. And that's been the difference maker. Those big plays by Ogden have just been relentless.
Let's look at some scores from around the state, Aiden, of high school football here in the area.
Looking through at first the Emory score over on our sister station KOAL 107.3 FM and 750 AM. A similar situation for the Spartans as Beaver leads 28-7 over Emory. Beaver, the 1A defending state champions. The runner-ups, though, taking on the San Juan Broncos, a team which Beaver was able to defeat narrowly by 3 points last week. San Juan up 20-7 over Kanab. Manti making a statement against Grantsville right now, up 23-7 at the half. Our game in between Delta and North St. Pete still sits at 7-0 and in lightning delay, Sonny. It makes me even more glad that that storm has circled around us. At the halftime down in Gunnison, the Bulldogs up 33-0 over Grand. Grand still having a goose egg as they enter the halftime break. Their lone points of the season were scored against the Carbon Dinos in the waning moments of last week's contest.
Here, 29-7, Ogden with the lead. Both teams back out on the field, and we're ready for the second half. About 2 minutes away. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, second half action. Carbon Dino Football, 95.3 The Peak. This is where the Dinos play.
At Oliver Law, we specialize in criminal defense and DUI. Everyone needs to know their rights. Let us guide you through the criminal justice minefield. At Oliver Law, we still believe in innocent until proven guilty.
At San Rafael Health, they believe everyone deserves compassionate and dedicated care. Whether you're looking for a place for mom, dad, or any loved one, the doors are open. San Rafael Health accepts private pay, Medicaid, Medicare, and commercial insurance, ensuring quality health care is accessible for all. Let the family at San Rafael Health take care of your family. Call today at 384-2301 and let San Rafael Health provide the care your loved ones deserve.
Transform your space with Spectrum Paint featuring PPG paint, the ideal choice for any home project. Imagine a kaleidoscope of colors at your fingertips, from soothing pastels to vibrant primaries. Whether revamping a room or adding character to your exteriors, Spectrum Paint makes every brush stroke count. Dive into a spectrum where quality meets creativity and paint your world with us. Visit Spectrum Paint to find the perfect shade for your home today.
Carbon High School football on KRPX 95.3 The Peak.
Welcome back, Carbon Dino football. You've been listening to the Castle Valley Orthodontics halftime show. 29-7 the score. Ogden with the lead. Dinos get the ball when we start the second half. The Dinos will go right to left on your radio dial as we're just about ready to start the second half.
And we have plenty of ways to listen to the Dinos this season, Sonny. Right here on 95.3 The Peak is where you're going to want to be for Dinos athletics throughout the academic year. But we also are adding new features this year. We got live video streams coming your way, courtesy on YouTube. We have it over on Castle Country Radio Carbon and the KSL Sports app. A great partnership between us and KSL.
So sit back, relax, enjoy Carbon Dino football.
And, you know, the Dinos can't afford to sit back, though. They need to find themselves in the driver's seat immediately.
And I was wrong. By the way, the Dinos will kick.
It's all good. I thought so, too, Sonny. It's been a long night. It's been a long week. Well, I'm excited for Labor Day weekend.
Apologize for that. So that makes things a little bit different. I was thinking the Dinos were getting the ball first. My mistake. There's the kick. And it's controlled by Curry at the 10-yard line, 15-20. Gets across the 25-30. Flag comes in. It's going to come back. Flag sits on the 23-yard line. That'll be a spot foul. It's going to come back, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, holding or block in the back of some kind. Rarely do you see penalties called against the kickoff team unless it's a face mask.
Holding. Penalty number 7 for 80 yards for Ogden. I apologize for that. For some reason, I was thinking that the Dinos
No, I was thinking the same thing.
Got the ball, but Ogden did win the toss, and they deferred.
No, Sonny, I'm in the same boat as you. I thought that was going to be happening. You know, sometimes things like that just happen. But Ogden's going to be set up at about the 19-yard line to start this possession. Unfamiliar territory for an Ogden team, which so far in this game has been set up very cushionly near the 50-yard line.
Okay, 1st and 10 for the Tigers. Ball sits on the 18-yard line. Weston, hands off, up the middle. Bounces it out to the right side. Here comes Curry. Finds some running room. 30, 35, across the 35. Close to the 40-yard line. Going to mark it at about the 38. Enough for a first down and move the chains for Ogden.
And what makes Anderson Curry so lethal in that back slot is that he is able to really navigate up and down the field and also left and right. He's able to quickly find his way upfield, and he breaks so many tackles. He's relentless. He keeps those legs churning, and he keeps himself going forward, and Ogden quickly approaches near midfield.
First down, 10. Ball sits on the 38 near hash mark. Ogden goes left to right on your dial. 2 receivers to the far side. Single receiver to the near side, short side of the field. Handoff goes up the middle once again to Curry. He finds more running room across the 45-50. In the secondary, 45-40. It's a foot race. 30, 20, 15. Brought down at the 10-yard line. A flag comes in. Think we're going to see a face mask. I think we'll see what it is. Out of bounds, and it'll be enough for a first down.
And Curry had the benefit of his offensive line opening up a hole big enough to drive a Mack truck through on the initial burst. And from there on out, Sonny, it was a foot race. Good pursuit angle by the Dinos, though, but not able to bring him down before he reaches that 10-yard line.
What do we got? Oh, we got a block in the back against Ogden.
And, that's a lucky break for the Dinos, a night where the Dinos have seen plenty of lucky breaks go their direction, able to bring that ball back from the 10-yard line where it felt like Ogden was again knocking on heaven's door, but now a little bit more work for the Tigers to do to open up the second half.
Usually that is where you see at the end of the run like that, it's usually a face mask.
Yeah, face mask or a horse collar, something of those varieties, but a block in the back, not something we were expecting to see.
Football flying around here. We'll get that off the field, and it will be 1st and 10 because it is a spot foul. So it'll be 1st and 10 on the 23-yard line. Still a big play for the Tigers.
Yeah, you wish you would have had that extra 15 yards forward, but you're going to be pretty content about being all the way. But if Ogden wants to find success throughout the rest of the season, especially as, again, 3A football in general is just hard. There's a lot of great teams, and in Ogden's region, that's no different. But they're going to have to overcome those penalties. They need to find a way to clean up that defensive game plan because that has been what's plagued them the most throughout the season.
We got a sideline warning on Ogden as well. So it's 1st down, 10 yards to go. The ball sits on the Dino 28, 11:09 left to play, third quarter, 29-7. Tigers with the lead in the ball. Shotgun formation. Weston's going to keep it himself. He's got running room. Across the 20, down to the 15. Spin move gets close to the 10-yard line. Move the chains on a 1st down.
What a run by Weston. It was just more of a designed quarterback power. Didn't try and draw any defenders away. He just cooked that snap, and he was off to the races, Sonny, and it worked much to his benefit. Sets the Tigers up, within the 10-yard line now.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That was a quarterback keeper all the way. Positive yardage enough for a 1st down, so they move the ball down to the Carbon 12.
And that's what makes Weston so lethal. Not only can he get it done with his arm, but his legs continue to churn, and he is able to just power his way wherever he wants.
Shotgun formation, handoff goes up the middle. Once again, it's Curry. Finds running room, gets down close to the goal line. Might be enough for a 1st down. They'll mark him a yard short. 2nd down and 1 for Ogden.
And over on our sister station, KOAL 107.3 FM and 750 AM, things have spiraled out of control for the Spartans. Now find themselves down entering the fourth quarter, 42-7. The Beavers are a team who you really can't mess around with. As fun as it is to make fun of their name.
They're for real.
That's a disciplined team, and you can see why they're in state title contention year after year after year.
2nd down, we'll call it 2. Ball sits on the 3-yard line. Got a chance for a 1st down. Handoff goes to Curry up the middle between the hash marks, close to the goal line. Depends on where they mark it. Touchdown.
An easy 4-yard scamper into the end zone by Curry. He just has to drop a shoulder and plow through, something which he's done very efficiently throughout the night to put them up 35-7. Sonny, that 2-point conversion doing wonders for them. They can keep the Dinos off kilter and force them to make tough decisions as they get closer and closer. Also, over in North St. Pete, the first quarter just ended. The lightning delay finally over. The Hawks up 7-6 over the Rabbits.
So, extra point attempt. Kick is down, kick is up, and the kick is good. So what we were hoping the Dinos would do, Ogden did. They took the opening kickoff, they went right down the field, and they score on the first possession of the second half, and they lead 36-7.
And that's what Ogden has done so well throughout the evening, Sonny, is they have just been relentless when it comes to offensive pressure. They run the ball down your throats, and just when you think you have them figured out, you're going to be able to stop them for a loss, they break out, they pass the ball downfield, and they torch you for a touchdown. That's been the story of the evening so far.
So the Dinos will get the ball back with a 36-7 deficit.
And it really feels now or never, Sonny, that the Dinos need to get something going. One more score, you're going to find yourself on the receiving end of the mercy rule. That clock would continue to tick throughout the rest of the game unless the Dinos would be able to get back within 2 scores. So a lot riding on this possession for Carbon because an Ogden offense, which has been hard to stop, looks to continue to do some damage, but the Dinos have a chance to really limit their opportunities and find the back of the end zone for themselves.
So Aiden, next week we'll be back at home here for the Carbon Dinos?
That we will, Sonny, that we will. A bit of a homestand for us right now as we look ahead to the future. They're going to be taking on Canyon View as they kick off region play. Then we're down at Richfield at Juab, and it's a bit of a road warrior stint for the Dinos.
There's the kick. Will land on the 10-yard line. Picked up there by the Dinos at the 5, 10, 15, 20. Across the 20 to the 23-yard line, tackled there by a host of Tiger defenders, and the Dinos will start 1st and 10 on the 23-yard line with 9:42 left to play in the third quarter.
And that's been the thing, with the exception of the big kickoff return, Sonny. The Dinos just haven't really been able to find any momentum in the special teams department. They're always getting stuffed near the 20-yard line, which albeit isn't the worst field position you could find yourself with, but with Ogden consistently starting near midfield, you're not doing yourself any favors.
1st down, 10 for the Dinos. Let's see if they can get some offense going. Ball sits on the 23-yard line, break the huddle, and come to the line of scrimmage in the shotgun formation. Trips go to the right side. Now one comes over to the left side as they go right to left on your radio dial. Shotgun 4 done. Sends a man in motion to Crispin. Fake to him. Handoff up the middle, and a great defensive play by Ogden. Loss of about 7 on the play. We'll call it 2nd and 17.
And they get forced back first play. Not the ideal start to this drive for Carbon as it gets sent back almost immediately. Sonny, Ogden's defense, despite having such an advantage, has just been unrelenting through the evening. They continue to bring the hammer time and time again.
2nd down and long, 2nd and 16. Dinos break the huddle and come to the line of scrimmage, send 2 receivers to the right side. 1 to the left. Shotgun for Dunn. Wants to throw. In the pocket. Throws out in the flat. Ball caught, but no gain. The defense is there immediately to make the stop. In fact, it'll be a loss of a yard, make it 3rd down, and about 17 for the Dinos.
And it looked like it was one of those plays where they wanted to run that design screen to Maddox on the outside, but Ogden able to swallow him up almost immediately. As soon as the defensive line felt that they were being released, they quickly found the open man and brought him down for the loss. 3rd and 17 for the Dinos now, Sonny. This is the opposite of what you wanted to see happen.
Right. 3rd and long for the Dinos. Kind of a mist starting to fill the air here at Carbon High School. 8:10 left to play in the third. Shotgun formation for Dunn. Quick little screen pass out to the left side. Nice tackle. Coming up to make the stop. Number 31 for the Tigers. It's Ben Love, and it'll be 4th down for the Dinos. The little screen pass out to Nichols, but good defense by Ogden there. Read the play perfectly.
Well, the Diners might be an apt name right now, Sonny, because the Ogden Tigers are going to be able to eat throughout the night, and they've been feasting on the Dinos offense. They're going to force a punt situation here because it'd be very unwise to go for it on a 4th and 19 within your own 20-yard line.
Dinos will punt the ball away. 7:25 in running. Kick is blocked. Bouncing around on the 10-yard line. It'll go out of bounds at the 16-yard line. It'll be Ogden football right there in the red zone.
Now, Sonny, Maddox Wilson was chasing after that ball. If he picked it up, it would have been able to try and return it at least for a 1st down, but rolls out of bounds before he can get his mitts on it. Instead, bad turns to worse for the Dinos as Ogden sets up within the 18-yard line. Again, one more score would result in the mercy rule being in play for the remainder of this game, barring a comeback from Carbon.
Good rush that time by Ogden. That punt had no chance. They were there.
Yeah, they were all over that,
yes.
Sonny. They kept that aggressive blitz style going through that we've seen throughout the game, and they were able to just capitalize on that opportunity yet again, this time on the punt.
Weston in the shotgun, 2 running backs each side. They'll give it off around the left side. Some running room across the 10. Down to the 5. Breaks a tackle into the end zone for the touchdown. Goes Ogden.
Crowther just breaks tackle after tackle. He has players diving at his feet, and they're unable to bring him down as he marches to the end zone as if he were a soldier trying to find some peace. He gets to the end zone after fighting through so much contact. He's able to put him up 42-7. Not even barring an extra point now. Sonny, mercy rule going to be in play. Clock going to continue to tick for the remainder of this game.
Yeah. So the extra point attempt coming on is Turner. There's the snap, the set, the kick is up. Kick is good. 7:09 left to play, 43-7. Ogden with the lead when we come back. Carbon Dino football 95.3 The Peak. This is where the Dinos play.
Picture this. A sudden burst pipe, flames engulfing your kitchen. Disaster strikes when you least expect it. But fear not, because Restore Wizard of Price is here to save the day. Their team of restoration experts is ready to tackle any fire or flood emergency from start to finish. They're not just here to fix the damage, they're here to restore your peace of mind. Don't let disaster catch you off guard. Call Restore Wizard of Price, 637-9165. Restore Wizard, the magic of a fresh start.
I'm Will Hinckley, number 66. I'm Cole Hinckley, number 72, and you're listening to 95.3 The Peak, where the Dinos play.
Welcome back, Carbon Dino Football, 95.3 The Peak. When this game is over, don't go anywhere. Eastern Utah Community Credit Union post-game show will follow. 43-7, Ogden with the lead, and the Tigers have played well tonight.
Yeah, I think well is an understatement, Sonny. They've played lights out throughout the evening, offensively, defensively. They've made big plays when they've had to. Even when they haven't had to, they've taken advantage of the Dinos' defense and their offense, forcing 3 turnovers so far in this game. Ogden just relentless.
Little squib kick goes into the end zone. The Dinos will take over on the 20-yard line.
And again, this comes back to the age-old problem we've seen throughout this game. Besides the one kickoff where Nichols was able to return it to the house, going for a 90-yard run, they've always found themselves set up in that 20 to 25-yard range, and it hasn't done them any favors to start offensively.
We've always said that, field position in high school football is huge. Well, the field position has belonged to Ogden all night.
Yeah, they have owned that department.
Yes.
They've also owned time of possession. They own pretty much every statistical category you would want except for penalties, and they've been able to overcome that regardless.
First down, 10 for the Dinos. Ball sits on the 20. 6:06 in running left to play here in the third quarter for the Dinos. They trail 43-7. Dunn in the shotgun. Wants to throw. Over the middle between the hash marks. Incomplete. Ball was intended for Wilson.
Oh, my goodness, Sonny. That was a hit stick throw by Harrison Hoskins, the senior defensive back. And Wilson on the ground injured following the hit. Always hard to see. He came in flying like a freight train, Sonny, and when you're trying to make the catch on the ball, not necessarily a defenseless receiver in that situation, but still have your back turned to the linebacker. It's going to make it a hard hit, and that's always tough to see as Wilson on the ground for the Dinos.
So timeout on the field. We'll take it with them with 5:45 left to play here in the third quarter. 43-7. Dinos trail Ogden. Dino Football, 95.3 The Peak, where the Dinos play.
I was hoping to talk to someone about updating my insurance policy.
I am able to understand complete sentences.
That was a complete sentence?
I didn't understand that.
Or can I just talk to a person?
No one talks to humans anymore.
Sometimes humans are just more helpful.
I hear you. Why don't we review your coverage with a super check?
Farm Bureau Financial Services. It's your future. Let's protect it.
Contact Farm Bureau agent Jill Jensen in Price today.
You're listening to Carbon Dino Football on the Peak, KRPX 95.3 FM.
Welcome back, Carbon Dino Football. Wilson walks off under his own power.
And that's good to see. Looked to be just one of those hits where you get the wind knocked out of you, because that was a hard hit coming from Harrison Hoskins. And, it was a clean hit, too, so you can't fault the player at all. Just good, hard football we're seeing on the field.
Second down, 10 for the Dinos. Clock runs. 5:40 in running. Shotgun formation for Dunn. Quick pitch, go to the right side. Ball carrier, O'Haron, finds a little bit of running room, picks up about 4 on the play. Will make it 3rd and 6 for the Dinos.
And, that's a little more manageable than they were facing with the 3rd and 10. Opens up. You can both run and pass the ball here a little more manageably. Back when it was going to be a 3rd and 10, they only really had the option to try and throw the ball, an area in which Ogden has been terrifying in defending.
Mac Reed on the tackle for the Tigers. Will call it 3rd down, 6 yards ago for the Dinos. Ball sits on the far hash mark. Dinos go right to left. Trips come to the near side. One running back stands to the right of Dunn. Dunn in the pocket, wants to throw, looks out to the left side. Ball caught by Crispin, but the defense is there to make the stop. Loss of 4 on the play. Coming up to make that play.
Gavin Shreve with that hammer hit. He drops the shoulder, sends Crespin spinning as he himself also goes flailing to the ground. But a good defensive stand by Ogden. Those short screen passes just haven't been working for the Dinos. Ogden has had them read time and time again.
4th down, 11. Dinos will punt. Back to receive the punt, Max Wilson. He'll stand on the 50-yard line. Clock says 4:13 and running. Good snap. Kick is away. Line drive kicks and a hit at the 50. Bounce to the 40. Stays in bounds. Goes down to the 37-yard line. And that's where Ogden will take over. 1st down and 10.
And this is the worst field position Ogden has started with in a while. They're going to have to march down the field just a little bit more than they've had to, but their offense has been firing on all cylinders throughout the day. And you're reaching that point of the game, Sonny, where we might start to see some of those second-string players come in for the Tigers.
Herrick back to receive the punt for the Tigers. It'll be 1st down and 10 on the 37-yard line for Ogden. 43-7 lead with 3:50 left to play. 3rd quarter. After this play, we'll look at some scores from around the state, get you updated on what's going on. Shotgun formation. Once again for Weston. Wants to throw. Down the left sidelines, overthrew his intended receiver.
Bit of a miscommunication there between Weston and Shreve on the run. Shreve starts to make a little comeback as the ball goes soaring over his head. Looks like Weston expected him to go on more of a streak to end the play, but miscommunications like that happen, and they've been very rare for Ogden tonight.
Shreve got turned around just a little bit, ball overthrown. 2nd down, 10 yards to go, and some scores from around the state.
Right now at the end of the 3rd quarter, South Sevier up 33-0 over North Sevier in a rivalry showdown. Gunnison up 39-0 over Grand. Like we alluded to, North St. Pete and Delta finally coming out of the rain delay at the end of one there. North St. Pete up 7-6 over the Rabbits. Kanab down to San Juan, 36-7.
Shotgun formation, handoff goes up the middle. Pickup of about 4 yards on the play. Nice tackle that time by the Dinos. Couple of defenders making the stop with 2:30 left to play. 3rd down, we'll call it 7.
And they're continuing to just kind of wind that clock down. They don't have to do much because it is a running clock situation. Over in Beaver, the Beavers up 49-7 over the Spartans with 2:32 left to go in the 4th quarter. Very similar situation to what we're seeing here. Teams just executing beautifully against our 2 hometown teams tonight.
3rd down, we'll call it 6. Ball sits on the 41-yard line. Tigers break the huddle, come to the line of scrimmage. Ball sits in the middle. 2 receivers go to the far side, 1 to the near side. Weston has the ball up the middle. A little bit of running room to the 45-yard line, and a host of Dinos in on the stop. It's going to make it 4th down and about 3. See what the Tigers decide to do here.
It'll bring down Crowther on that one. He tries to do his normal drop the shoulder maneuver, but isn't able to get much as a slew of Dino defenders brings him to the ground, and we have another injury on the field for the Dinos.
3 or 4 defenders for the Dinos in on the stop. Clock stop with 1:34 left to play. We'll take the timeout with them. It's 43-7, Ogden with the lead. Dino football, 95.3 The Peak, where the Dinos play.
At Oliver Law, we specialize in criminal defense and DUI. Everyone needs to know their rights. Let us guide you through the criminal justice minefield. At Oliver Law, we still believe in innocent until proven guilty.
At Castle Country Vet, they believe every pet deserves a touch of love and expert care. You can trust Dr. Harmer and Dr. Kelly. They're not just veterinarians, but passionate pet lovers, dedicated to nurturing your furry friends like family. From routine checkups to emergency interventions, you and your pet will experience compassionate, professional care every step of the way. Let Castle Country Vet help your pets lead the happiest, healthiest lives. Call Castle Country Vet today, 637-5797, because love is a four-legged word.
Welcome back. Jackson Larson walks off under his own power, which is a good sign for the Dinos. There's the snap and the kick. Nobody back for the Dinos, and it's a booming kick. It's going to stop right at the 10-yard line. That's a great kick. The Dinos will take over 1st and 10 on their own 10-yard line.
That was gorgeous. Normally when you see a kick with that much boom, it's going to roll through the back of the end zone. Well, this time plants itself firmly at the 10-yard line, just enough backspin to halt any forward momentum we may have been seeing as the clock continues to tick.
I'm sure the ground a little bit soft as well with the rain that we've got.
And I saw some earlier today. Luckily, not enough to cause any kind of delay. Storm kind of just went around us perfectly.
Great. 1st down, 10 for the Dinos. Under a minute now left to play here in the third quarter, trailing 43-7. Dinos have just not been able to get the offense rolling tonight. Dunn wants to throw, quick throw out. Right flat, the ball is caught. Finch, pick up a 5. We'll call it 2nd and 5.
And a good recovery throw there. They haven't been able to get anything going so far in the second half. They've been lights out, but Finch able to add to his total receiving yards for the day, and they move him just midway to the 1st down marker.
Just seems like they just haven't been able to get any momentum going on the offensive side tonight.
No, and anytime they have, Ogden's quickly shut it down, and that's been the biggest factor in this game.
Trips to the left side. Here's a little shovel pass up the middle for a pickup of maybe a yard on the play. Nichols the ball carrier. It's going to be 3rd down. We'll call it 4.
It was Riker O'Haron on that carry. The sophomore getting some major varsity minutes as the clock ticks to 0. That's what I like about this Dinos team so much. Despite what the scoreboard may say right now, this is a very young group, very few seniors on the squad. And, with that, you have a lot of players who are probably going to return next season and add a lot of experience as that band starts playing yet again, Sonny. Love to hear them continue to go on. But with the end of the third quarter, the Dinos need to find something with 12 minutes left. Right now, you're playing for pride. You want to try and add some points to that total.
Dinos back at home next week. Canyon View comes to town. We're back at home, and then as you said, after that, we hit the road for a couple of games.
Yeah, then we head to Richfield on September 12th and down at Juab. 2 tough teams always to play, but then they're back for the homecoming contest on September 25th. Also going to be here that night, the Carbon High School class of 2015 celebrating their 10-year reunion, and then we get a little mid-region break, but not really a break to say, I guess a break from region teams. We head on down to Delta to take on the Rabbits on October 3rd, kicking off the month there.
Dino football, 95-3 the Peak where the Dinos play. 3rd down 3. Quick pitch comes to the right side. Up to about the 29-yard line, maybe a pickup of 1. The ball carrier is Johnson.
And you're seeing a lot of these younger guys getting in and getting some reps.
4th and 2.
For the Dinos, the freshman in Dawson Johnson taking some varsity reps. Always good to see that you can get those younger guys in, especially when a game kind of decided like this. You want to see what these guys can do, especially get them up to varsity speed, because it's a completely different game than a freshman or JV game.
4th and 2. Herrick back to receive the punt for Ogden. The Dinos will punt the ball away. Clock running down to close to 11 minutes. Kick hits at the 50-yard line and stops right there once again.
Well, 2 punts we've seen where the ball has just really stopped on a dime after the kick. Both of them kind of get planted in that softer soil. For Ogden, it worked a little more in their favor, stopping at the 10-yard line. For Carbon, gets planted at midfield as Ogden takes over yet again.
Sandoval with the punt for the Carbon Dinos, and it'll be 1st and 10 for Ogden. The clock now under 11 minutes. Sits right at the 50-yard line.
Rarely do you get to see it set on one of those nice, even numbers. But, as a guy taking stats, I really appreciate it. It makes my counting a whole lot easier.
Definitely.
I can go by 10s and 5s. I studied communications for a reason, Sonny. I can't add for anything.
First down, 10 for the Tigers. Substitutions coming into the ball game, and we'll get you updated on them. The quarterback, Emmett Rector, the sophomore, number 13 into the ball game. Handoff goes up the middle for about 2. Will be second down for the Tigers. The ball carrier that time, Hayden Hansen.
And second highest amount of points that the Ogden Tigers have been able to put up this season, Sonny. The highest coming last week against Judge Memorial Catholic, where they won 49-0. Right now, I had a similar result minus the shutout, up 43-7 right now as the clock continues to run in the fourth quarter.
Shotgun formation once again. Second down, they gave him 1 on that play, so it'll be 2nd and 9. Handoff goes to the right side, trying to get to the corner, cuts back against the grain, and that's a good run to pick up 5 yards on the play.
And you'll never guess who it is, Sonny, but the younger brother of Keen Crowther, Koss Crowther, getting some damage done early. Runs in the family, and they both run the ball, so a little scary knowing that he is only a sophomore.
3rd down, 6. Clock says 9:30 and running. 43-7 the score, Ogden with the lead in the ball.
But how cool is it to be able to play a game like football with your sibling? That's something that very few people get to achieve.
Yeah. Ball sits on the far hash mark. They go right to left. Shift. Brings trips to the left side. Single receiver to the right side. Throw out in the flat. Has a man at the 40. Caught and then brought down, but it should be enough for a first down.
That was a pretty impressive throw by Ty Knowles, the senior, normally playing linebacker, stepping up as quarterback now as the game enters its waning moments. Ogden just
Riker Rice with the catch.
And Ogden just continues to move the ball down despite the change in personnel. They just continue marching along.
Shotgun formation. Emmett Rector, the quarterback. Hands the ball up the middle. Once again, some running room across the 35 down to the 34-yard line. It's Riker Rice, the ball carrier.
And that's kind of the mentality that Ogden embodies as a program. They are a good, hard ground and pound team, Sonny. They will run through your face no matter who is in the game. They will give it 100%. They are just relentless in all facets of the game as they continue to just march down the field as they start to rotate those second-string and third-string players into the contest.
Maurer on the stop for the Carbon Dinos. Second down, 6 yards ago. Pick up a 4. 2 receivers both sides. 1 running back stands to the right side. Shotgun formation. Man in motion goes away from us. Little jet sweep. We have flags, and that'll kill the play. We'll see what the flag is.
And a second flag for a late hit flying afterwards as well. Going for the tackle still, post whistle blowing on the sweep. Gonna offset probably anything that comes the way of the Dinos. Caleb Sorensen going to be whistled for that one.
See what the referees sort this out. We'll see what we got here. Not as many flags in the second half.
They call it false start against Ogden.
Dead ball, personal foul against the Dinos.
For that late hit. So Chains, if you do the math, Sonny, that's going to set Ogden up with a first down. And just a little mistiming on the jet sweep by Ogden, still able to move the ball forward with the penalty.
So it'll be first down and 10 as they get the first down on the penalty. 7:09 and running left to play. Ball sitting on the 25-yard line. Shotgun formation once again for the Tigers. Man in motion comes towards us. They fake the jet sweep. A little screen pass to the right side. running room across the 15 down to the 10. Enough for another first down and move the chains.
Koss Crowther with a 15-yard reception on that screen pass, able to just march it a little bit more forward into the red zone again for the Tigers. Clock continues to tick down, but Ogden hunting the back of the end zone.
Crowther comes into the ballgame, makes his presence known, doesn't he?
That he does. Just like his brother Sonny, he is hard to bring down. Neither of them go down without a fight, and that makes it a special challenge for any defense facing them.
In the red zone, first and goal just inside the 10-yard line. Tigers come to the line of scrimmage, ball on the far hash mark. Going right to left on your radio dial with two receivers to both sides. Quick go goes out to the right. Little screen pass for a pickup of maybe 2, 3. Down to the 7-yard line, second down.
And a pile of humanity getting up after that one, Sonny. Lots of contact on it. That receiver on that play for Ogden was Trayvon Oliveira. Well, not the highest score or the biggest blowout in the state right now. Richfield up 47-0 over Desert Peak. Still 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter there.
So we got second down, goal. Under center this time goes Emmett Rector, the sophomore quarterback. Hands it off, up the middle, across the 5, down to the 4. When that ball goes into that left end zone, left corner, it is hard to see.
That it is, Sonny. That's why I'm glad I got this pair of binoculars. It was Crowther on the carry there, picking up just a yard for Ogden. A defensive goal line stand for Carbon looks to be in store as we reach third down.
Third down, 4 yards to go. Ball sits on the 4. Handoff this time goes to Hansen. He gets down inside the 5, down to the 3-yard line. It's going to be fourth down.
Yeah, Hayden Hansen able to just march it down a little bit more forward. 1 yard to go to get to the goal. A bend don't break opportunity for the Dinos defense as they look to stop the damage.
4:24 and running left to play. 43-7, Ogden with the lead in the ball. Sitting on the Carbon Dino just inside the 2-yard line.
And, Sonny, this is one of those situations where you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. You get the stop on the 1 yard line. All good and all great. Yes, you get the stop, but you're taken over at the 1 yard line against a defense that has really caused you fits all night long. If you let them score, though, they score and tack up 6 more points on that board. So really a no-win affair.
So both head coaches called out, talking to the white hat at the 30-yard line with 4:18. The clock has stopped.
Yeah, both Coach Terry Larson and Nick Milovich, 2 first-year head coaches out there talking to the white hat official. We'll wait to see what an official decision is coming from them. Larson walks back to his sideline. Milovich still speaking to the official.
Stay tuned to the Eastern Utah Community Credit Union postgame show.
Now the officials gathering to talk, but the Dinos retaking the field now. A ball on the 1 yard line, Sonny. Ogden looking to tack 6 more onto the board, making it a 49-7 ball game with 4 minutes and running here in the fourth quarter at Dino Field as Ogden again proves the foil to the Dinos' chances to move to 3-0 on the season. 2014 still the most recent time that they've done it. For the most recent time, the Dinos have been able to come away with a win against Ogden. 2003, Sonny. So I was a 1-year-old at the time. Looking at some scores throughout that series, the closest one was 17-14 in favor of Ogden in 2004. The biggest came in 2023 when they defeated the Dinos 55-0.
Fourth down, 2 yards to go, shotgun formation. Handoff, up the middle. It's Hansen. Fights his way. I don't think he got there.
I don't think he did either, Sonny. We'll wait for the official signal by the officials.
Line judges run in, and no calls made. I'm think it's going to go to the Dinos because they are. Turnover on downs. The Dinos get to stop. They'll take over on the 1-yard line.
Now, Sonny, if you are a coach, if you're an offensive coordinator in this situation, what play are you calling? Because the safest one to go is the run. But throughout this game, Sonny, the Ogden Tigers have shown that they are prone to blitz and that they are prone to tackle you for a loss, especially in run situations. So that could result in a safety. But also, you're one errant snap away. You're one missed drop step away from committing a safety. So really, sticky situation for the Dinos.
See what the Dinos decide to do. They break the huddle and come to the line of scrimmage. Whistle. Timeout.
Dunn still in at quarterback for the Dinos. No change coming there for the Carbon offense.
Timeout Carbon. 3:50 left to play. 43-7. Ogden with the lead when we come back. Ball 95-3 the Peak, where the Dinos play.
At A Perfect Smile, they specialize in transforming your smile with precision and care. From porcelain veneers and dental implants to orthodontics, crowns, and bridges, their expertise covers every aspect of general and cosmetic dentistry. Dr. Jackson and his team are here to address even the most challenging dental concerns, helping you achieve a smile you'll love. Ready for a smile makeover? Call A Perfect Smile today, 637-2100, to schedule an appointment.
3:50 left to play. We come back. 3:48 and running. First down for the Dinos. 1st and 10. Handoff goes up the middle, just trying to get some breathing room. Pickup of maybe 1. Will be 2nd down and 9 for the Dinos.
You know, that's just what they have to do, Sonny. You have to find some way to move forward just a little bit. You're in a situation like we talked about before the break. You can't afford to lose any yards there. So a run, definitely the safest option as Dunn goes back out to the huddle with the play, trying to get something going as the clock continues to run almost within 3 minutes now.
2nd down, 8. Ball sits on the 3. Shotgun formation once again for the Dinos. And now under center. Quick little pitch out to the right side. A little bit of running room up to about the 8-yard line.
Making the run on that play, Sonny. Riker O'Haron, the sophomore, again getting in on the action. A very talented wrestler, winning a state title as a freshman, All-American in the sport as well. Now taking his talents to the football field where he has proved an asset as both a linebacker and a running back.
So it will be 3rd down. We'll call it 2 for the Dinos.
And a big breathing room run for Carbon, just what they needed to buy some separation, make it so you can open up that playbook just a little bit more.
3rd down 2. Dinos go under center. Little reverse balls on the ground. Picked up by Nichols. Does he get to the outside? He can get to the corner. He does, and it'll be enough for a 1st down to move the chains. You know, sometimes when you have that little miscue, the defense will have a tendency to overrun the play. Yeah, I think that's what happened there.
I think so too, Sonny, but he snatched victory from the jaws of defeat. What looked to be a loss and a potential safety quickly turns into a 1st down for Carbon. Clock continues to tick now within 2 minutes, 1:40 left on the clock as it continues to roll down. Luckily, that defensive stand by Carbon makes it a little more palatable looking at that scoreboard.
43-7, 1:34 and running left to play. Under center once again, the Dinos. Quick pitch this time comes out to the right side. A little bit of running room. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Ogden defenders to make the stop on the ball carrier for the Carbon Dinos, O'Haron.
O'Haron has come into this game in the second half, and he's really taken over, making a name for himself, establishing that run. He's grounding and pounding. He has been hard to stop. He keeps those legs churning so efficiently, and that's what you want to see a running back do after that initial contact, and that's how you can see him drag about 6 players, and a good job by the offensive line, too, rallying behind him and pushing him forward.
6 or 7 defenders on the stop, but not before O'Haron picks up the 1st down for the Dinos. Under a minute left to play. Once again, under center goes the Carbon Dinos. Reverse goes to Nichols. Over the left side. Finds some running room. Might be another 1st down. Close to it. Get up to the 40-yard line. I believe it will be. Move the chains again for the Dinos with 27 seconds left to play in the ball game and running.
And the Dinos have done a good job in these waning minutes in establishing the run, but that clock continues to be their worst enemy, as does the scoreboard. When you find yourself down 36, not much you can do in the fourth quarter.
Probably the last play of the game. The quick pitch goes out to the right side. It's Johnson. He gets across the 45 to the 47-yard line, and that's going to do it here at Carbon High School.
And, it was a hard-fought game by Ogden throughout. The pressure, again, we talked about it pre-game coming into this. They run that 3-4 front. They were going to be blitzing early and often, and they did that throughout the game. And it really gave the Dinos fits. They couldn't find any answer for that Ogden defense. A lot of situations where they just run in. They're able to quickly shut down any play as, again, the score ends 43-7 as the Dinos find their first defeat of the season, falling to 2-1 on the year. Again, as was the case last year, handed to them by the Ogden Tigers.
So the final score, 43-7. We'll take a break. When we come back, Eastern Utah Community Credit Union postgame show.
Show your school spirit and support local high schools with the new Eastern Utah Community Credit Union debit and credit cards. Featuring designs for Carbon, Emory, and Grand High School, these cards let you carry a piece of your school's pride wherever you go. Plus, to make purchasing easier, Eastern Utah Community Credit Union has added the convenience of tap-to-pay and compatibility with major mobile wallets. Pick up your school spirit card today at any of the Eastern Utah Community Credit Union branches.
Looking for the perfect mattress? We've got you covered. At Bill's Home Furnishings, we have the largest selection of mattresses in Eastern Utah, including the highly rated Serta Perfect Sleeper. And when it comes to price, we're competitive with anywhere in the state. But we're more than just mattresses. From quality furniture and home accessories to reliable appliances, we've got everything you need to make your house a home. Stop by Bill's Home Furnishings today, where selection, savings, and service meet. Right here in Eastern Utah.
You're looking for somewhere you could be proud to work. Komatsu is looking for you. Komatsu is a leading manufacturer of construction, mining, forestry, and industrial heavy equipment. Komatsu currently has openings for seasoned welders, journeyman electricians, and MSHA certified electricians, as well as master machinists. At Komatsu, not only will your skills be rewarded with competitive wages, but you'll also enjoy benefits like a robust 401k plan. Grow with Komatsu. Go to komatsu.com or call Tanner at 636-6150. Picture this. A sudden burst pipe, flames engulfing your kitchen. Disaster strikes when you least expect it. But fear not, because Restore Wizard of Price is here to save the day. Their team of restoration experts is ready to tackle any fire or flood emergency from start to finish. They're not just here to fix the damage, they're here to restore your peace of mind. Don't let disaster catch you off guard. Call Restore Wizard of Price, 637-9165. Restore Wizard, the magic of a fresh start.
Plumbing issues don't happen every day, but when they do, it's good to know that there's a plumber you can trust right here in the Castle Country. The Swell Plumber has over 30 years of experience and has proven that he's reliable. Here's what some customers have said about the Swell Plumber.
Kurt was amazing. He came out to the house the same day and got quotes to us very quickly.
Kurt kept in touch with us with updates as things progressed. I was definitely pleased.
For residential and commercial plumbing, go to theswellplumber.com and book your appointment today.
At San Rafael Health, they believe everyone deserves compassionate and dedicated care. Whether you're looking for a place for mom, dad, or any loved one, the doors are open. San Rafael Health accepts private pay, Medicaid, Medicare, and commercial insurance, ensuring quality health care is accessible for all. Let the family at San Rafael Health take care of your family. Call today at 384-2301 and let San Rafael Health provide the care your loved ones deserve.
I'm Will Hinckley, number 66. I'm Cole Hinckley, number 72, and you're listening to 95.3 The Peak, where the Dinos play.
Welcome back to Carbon Dino Football, the Eastern Utah Community Credit Union postgame show. The final score tonight, 43-7. Ogden with the win over the Carbon Dinos. Ogden came to town tonight to play football, and that's exactly what they did. Their offense moved the ball very well. Their defense had the Dinos on on their heels the whole night long. They come away with a 43-7 win.
That they did, Sonny. And, the biggest advantage in my mind that Ogden had was the dual threat quarterback in Weston. He was able to, when he had to, draw back, make throws, and threw a few touchdowns for himself, but he was also able to get the job done with his legs. That's something that Carbon just wasn't able to establish anything efficient on offense. The runs were shut down by the blitz. The pass rush was relentless from Ogden as they were able to constantly pressure Dunn, force him into a few errors. The biggest turning point in my mind came at the end of the first half when Dunn's arm was hit as he was trying to throw, resulted in an interception. Didn't much happen there, but that kind of set the tone for the rest of the game.
Yep. Scoring by quarters after the first quarter was a 7-0 game.
And, it felt like that was a much more manageable situation. The Dinos were able to get something going the first few drives, especially due to some penalties from Ogden. That was the real story that we saw from them. The penalties by Ogden really gave the Dinos a lifeline early in the first half.
Then 22 more points scored by Ogden in a row to make it 29-7. The Dinos had the kick return by Nichols for the touchdown. The halftime score 29-7.
And that 3-touchdown run by Ogden came courtesy of some great field position, whether it be by punt or by turnover. They were able to set themselves consistently up on their own side of the field, and they capitalized on that very well. And good teams are going to do that to you. They're not going to stall out after a turnover like that. They're going to be able to continually push you forward, and that's exactly what Ogden did.
Third quarter, they outscored the Dinos 14-0, making it 43-7 at the end of 3.
And, that's when the Avalanche really started coming. That mercy rule came into effect. The clock was going to be running through the fourth quarter. It made a tall task even taller for the Dinos to try and claw their way back into this one.
Yeah, no score in the fourth quarter with the clock running as quickly as it did, and that's how we end the game tonight, 43-7. Now, if we look at Ogden, played a great game tonight. One thing, if you want to find something, probably the penalty situation. They had 8 penalties for 90 yards tonight.
Yeah, and they weren't like your normal penalties that you see, because you can excuse 1, 2, even 3 or 4 holding calls in a game, because like we always talk about, the only difference between a good block and a hold is the flag. But Ogden was committing things like personal fouls, procedure penalties, things that really weren't helping their case. Now, against a team like your Morgans, your Richfields, those teams who are vying for state championships, it's not sustainable to have that many penalties go against you. So they're going to want to clean it up, play a little more disciplined ball as they head into the remainder of their schedule. But like you said, that's the really thing you can nitpick from this game that Ogden would need to do better.
Right. The Dinos only had 6 penalties for 45 yards. You can be happy with that.
Yeah, you can be very happy with that. That's a very disciplined style of football. Didn't translate to gains in yardage, but they were able to stay consistent, and they only had 1 or 2 where you could go, really, you're going for that.
The Tigers took care of the ball tonight. 1 turnover. The Dinos with 3.
Yeah, 3 coming through the air, both by Dunn getting hit and just wide receivers being in the wrong place or being surrounded by 3 defenders at a time. It's a tough situation to go when they're running the ball so quickly at you. You don't have time to barely make your first read, let alone your second or third. You have to trust that first instinct and throw. And tonight, sometimes you're the bug, sometimes you're the windshield. Today, Carbon was the bug.
I was really impressed with the junior quarterback, number 6, Blake Weston for Ogden. He really controlled the game, and he controls his offense. It's hard to defend this team because he can run and throw the ball both so well.
Yeah, having a good dual threat quarterback is a major advantage at the high school level, especially when you're playing in these smaller classifications like 3A or 2A. If you're able to navigate the field both by land and by sea, I guess by air. That was a bad comparison, but you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
He's able to control the pace of the game. It opens up your playbook if you're Ogden. You can run more speed options, more quarterback reads, quarterback designed runs, and that's something that really can throw fits into a defense, and we saw a lot of that tonight. Carbon kept the Dinos off kilter all night long.
Yeah, the offense makes it a lot easier for the running backs, and the running backs for the Tigers had a big night tonight.
Oh my goodness, Sonny. It felt like no matter where they got the ball handed off, no matter how many defenders were making initial contact, they were able to push the ball 5 or 6 yards forward. That's been an area we've seen Carbon struggle with throughout the season, is defending the run. Against ALA, it was a problem. Against Grand, they held them to 44 total yards, so not much doing there for the Red Devils, but tonight, again, that run really came to bite them.
We'll take a break here in the Eastern Utah Community Credit Union post-game show. Once again, the final score tonight, Ogden 43 and the Carbon Dinos 7. We'll be back in a minute.
Show your school spirit and support local high schools with the new Eastern Utah Community Credit Union debit and credit cards. Featuring designs for Carbon, Emory, and Grand High School, These cards let you carry a piece of your school's pride wherever you go. Plus, to make purchasing easier, Eastern Utah Community Credit Union has added the convenience of tap to pay and compatibility with major mobile wallets. Pick up your school spirit card today at any of the Eastern Utah Community Credit Union branches.
Discover peace of mind with Don's Hometown Insurance, now even closer to home at their new location, 58 West Main Street in Price. Connect directly with friendly agents ready to tailor a package just for you. Imagine bundling your home, auto, and life insurance, simplifying your life while maximizing your savings. Experience personalized service designed to protect what matters most to you. Visit Don's Hometown Insurance today and feel the difference.
Hey there, food lovers. It's Bill Hicks from Farlano's Cafe, your new favorite spot for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Whether you're craving a hearty omelet, a fresh salad, our golden curly fries, or our mouth-watering pastas, we've got you covered. And we're open 7 days a week. So come on down to Farlano's Cafe, where every meal is a celebration. Remember, it's where the locals eat. Visit us at Farlano's, where great food and great company come together. See you.
Looking for financial solutions? At Cache Valley Bank, they're here to help. Whether you need commercial loans, mortgages, or expert financial advising, they've got you covered. Visit them today on the corner of First West and Main Street. Cache Valley Bank, your partner in financial success.
Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
The more things change,
the more they stay the same.
Yes, Mr. Automotive has a new building in Huntington.
But that just means the services they offer just got better.
Detailing and mechanic work are being added to the already great service Mr. Automotive had already offered.
And all deals are still done with the owner at the lowest prices possible.
New building, same best prices, and more auto services. Go to MrAutomotiveSales.com or stop by the dealership, 21 South Main, Huntington. Mr. Automotive, the best for less.
In the heart of Carbon and Emery counties, Quick Realty is here to help you make the right move. Experience the future of home buying with our Matterport 3D tours, giving you an immersive look at your potential home from anywhere. Meet our dedicated team of local professionals, just real people who care, walking you through every step of the way. As a Zillow Premier and Realtor.com specialist, Quick Realty is your trusted expert, handling everything from residential, commercial, and mountain properties to property management. Your dream home is just a call away. Let Quick Realty help you find it.
You see your friends with their new travel trailers, four-wheelers, and side-by-sides. They're living the dream, right? Well, it doesn't just have to be a dream. You can start living that same dream life today by starting your new career with GMS Mine Repair and Maintenance. GMS is hiring mechanics, electricians, fabricators, experienced and inexperienced miners. They offer high starting wages, benefits, a 401k, and vacation pay. Local jobs are available. Apply today. Email your resume to kbarker@gmsminerepair.com. The dream can be yours with GMS Mine Repair.
You're listening to Carbon Dino Football on the Peak, KRPX 95.3 FM.
Welcome back into the Eastern Utah Community Credit Union postgame show here on 95.3 The Peak. Aiden Mortensen being joined now alongside Carbon High School head coach Nick Milovich. Coach Milovich, thank you for taking the time to come up to talk to us. It's always a pleasure to have you up here.
Thanks for having the time. Thank you.
And, it's always rough getting that first loss. You and I were talking about it before. But I think we start with the positive. Penalty-wise, you guys played a very disciplined style of football. You weren't seeing anything too excessive. You can excuse one or two holds,
Sure.
But overall, I think penalty-wise, you guys really held it together. It's an emotional game, especially when you're in a losing situation. And the fact that you have those players coached up to kind of maintain their heads and keep their cool on the field is always a major thing.
Right. It's just a lot more than football. We got to teach these young men's life skills that not everything's going to go the way that they plan. Not everything's going to be scripted the way that they want. And So from that standpoint, I couldn't ask for any more.
And, looking at Ogden's offense, it was a very balanced attack.
Sure.
We saw a lot of passing, but mainly that run game felt like it was what was doing the most damage. As you move into next week, as we enter into region play against Canyon View back here at Dino Field, what's kind of going to be the mentality heading into practice, especially on the defensive side of things?
Everyone in the region is run heavy, except for Manti, and so we've got to be able to shore that up. And like I said, we've got one of the best staffs in 3A and in the state of Utah, and I know that they're already in their trucks pulling up huddle film right now. So finding ways to do that. So that's going to be key emphasis because the cat's out of the bag now, and everyone's got film on everyone now, and we've got to understand and have the reality that people are just going to start running the ball, and we've got to make adjustments for that.
And you got to give a lot of credit though to a lot of these younger guys on the team stepping up, especially in that second half. Riker O'Haron came in both as linebacker and running back, and he was flying all over the place. He played with no fear out there. What's it like to have a younger player like that who can come in and change the game for you like that?
It's awesome, just and especially just getting thrown into it, and with a couple of injuries and things like that held a few out, and it takes most of the stress off when you can just plug a kid in and just run, and then their reply is yes sir, and Riker just went and did that. So I'm thankful for him, his efforts, and helping us out tonight.
And that's what I like so much about your offensive system is it does kind of take that plug and play mentality. I mean, like we talked about, you have a lot of injuries out there on the field. Taker Timothy notably absent tonight after scoring 4 touchdowns against Grand. But you put Jordan Nichols in there, he's able to perform very well in that wing back slot, especially when you put him on that kick return slot that was typically filled by Taker as he takes it 90 yards to the house. Special teams in that regard, especially on that play, looked good. What was it like finally breaking that goose egg along the sideline?
Oh, the biggest relief in the entire world, and that's just a kudos to coaching staff. McCade Bradley takes care of our special teams and his preparations for practice, and just getting kids in the right position, and then Jordan finding a seam and having enough confidence to really just turn on the jets, because that's quite the tightrope he ran on that sideline. And so I think when he ran past me, I'm like, okay, I think he's got it. So it was quite the relief.
Now, coming into this game, we knew Ogden was going to be a very blitz-heavy team. We talked about it earlier in the week with Jordan. We talked about it pregame. Was the pressure they were bringing a little more than you were expecting, or is it kind of what you were expecting? They were just able to find their gaps very efficiently.
We were worried about the two studs in the middle, and it just seemed like they're well coached and well versed, and just were extremely patient. And we just unfortunately didn't have an answer for that. For the most part, passing and stuff like that, with the shorter stuff, I thought we handled ourselves pretty well. Yeah, we had pressures and things like that, but interceptions are going to come. That's just key reads and things like that. And that's the maturation of a new quarterback, of knowing when to throw, when not to throw, and they disguise stuff really well. So I thought Caden did fairly well. Obviously, there's some things that we'll do, but again, as a first-year quarterback, his third game, where significant more pressure than what he was used to. I was pretty proud of him.
With the blitz they're bringing as a quarterback, you have barely enough time to make that first read, let alone a second and third. So it makes it a lot harder, especially like you talked about. This is the first year varsity quarterback stepping in last second, right as we head into week 1. And he's done an excellent job so far. I have to agree with you, but always room for improvement, always time to head back to the film room and watch it. Now, you alluded to having your coaching staff around it. Normally the old saying goes that, the assistant coaches after the night after a loss can go home and they can sleep. As a head coach, they're pouring over film. They're wondering what they could have done better. But it sounds like you have a staff who kind of embodies that head coach mentality. They all are going to be watching film almost immediately after this game, and they're going to be wanting to learn from what they did, what worked, what didn't work, and how we can improve on what was working.
Right. And I consider myself the luckiest guy in the world, just being surrounded by such good men. I learn so much from them every single day, and just previous Carbon coaches and stuff like that still keep in touch. I just wanted to say thank you to everyone. And like you said, they do have that mentality, and they're here with that mission in mind, changing the culture here at Carbon football.
Now, as you head into region play next week, you only have the benefit of 3 preseason
I
games to get adjusted because the region expanded over the off season, and even then, it's still just a gauntlet on its own. What's the mentality heading into next week?
We got to be able to respond, and definitely this will not define us. We got to be able to learn to deal with adversity when things don't go our way. And by no means are we calling it and packing it in, because there's 7 more games plus state, and we've got to be able to answer that call. And Canyon View is not going to roll over. Just as tough as Ogden. Again, we got to be able to compete and go after them. So next opponent up, and now we got teal and silver to deal with next Friday.
Now, Coach, before we let you go, is there anything you want to leave us off with?
Thank you, everyone, for all your support. These kids will fight for you. They'll fight for this community. We love this community. We will fight for you day in and day out. Okay, these young men come to work every single day, and I'm so proud of them for the courage that they have. Parents, thank you for letting your young men come out and play for us. And again, Carbon County and others around, thank you for your support. It's definitely felt extremely needed, and you make this community, so we'll make you proud.
Well, Coach, always a pleasure to have you up here after the games. Thanks again for taking the time to come talk to us. We really appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Aiden.
Again, that was Carbon High School head coach Nick Milovich. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll jump right back into the booth with Sonny to close out this broadcast. You're listening to 95.3 The Peak. This is where the Dinos play, and this is where you need to be. We'll be right back.
Show your school spirit and support local high schools with the new Eastern Utah Community Credit Union debit and credit cards. Featuring designs for Carbon, Emory, and Grand High School, these cards let you carry a piece of your school's pride wherever you go. Plus, to make purchasing easier, Eastern Utah Community Credit Union has added the convenience of tap-to-pay and compatibility with major mobile wallets. Pick up your school spirit card today at any of the Eastern Utah Community Credit Union branches.
Plumbing issues don't happen every day, but when they do, it's good to know that there's a plumber you can trust right here in the Castle Country. The Swell Plumber has over 30 years of experience and has proven that he's reliable. Here's what some customers have said about the Swell Plumber.
Kurt was amazing. He came out to the house the same day and got quotes to us very quickly.
Kurt kept in touch with us with updates as things progressed. I was definitely pleased.
For residential and commercial plumbing, go to theswellplumber.com and book your appointment today.
I was hoping to talk to someone about updating my insurance policy.
I am able to understand complete sentences.
That was a complete sentence?
I didn't understand that.
Or can I just talk to a person?
No one talks to humans anymore.
Sometimes humans are just more helpful.
I hear you. Why don't we review your coverage with a super check?
Farm Bureau Financial Services. It's your future. Let's protect it.
Contact Farm Bureau agent Jill Jensen in Price today.
Imagine a smooth, hassle-free journey to the front door of your new home with the Driggs Mortgage Team guiding you every step of the way. Hi, this is Greg Driggs. Our seasoned experts understand the ins and outs of home financing and refinancing. Come visit us at our new permanent address, 8 East Main in Price, where we plan to be a staple for years to come. Start your journey today. Call 801-427-3577. The Driggs Mortgage Team, NMLS number 272076, Equal Housing Opportunity. Driggs Mortgage Team is a DBA of Premier Mortgage Resources, LLC, NMLS 1169.
You're listening to Carbon Dino Football on the Peak, KRPX 95.3 FM.
Welcome back into the Eastern Utah Community Credit Union post-game show here on KRPX 95.3 The Peak, as well as our YouTube viewing audiences over on Castle Country Radio, Carbon, and the KSL Sports app. Sonny, again, the Dinos fall tonight, 40 3-7. They turned the scoreboard off, and I had to dig through a pile of papers to try and find it. But, it was a bit of a blowout against the Dinos, but things like that are bound to happen. And like we've talked about throughout the game, this is a very young team we're looking at. A lot of injuries that they're trying to fight through right now. So a lot of room to improve.
Yep, you just forget about this and you move on. Next week you got Canyon View. They're winning tonight once again. Canyon View is usually a good football team. They have to come here, forget about what happened tonight, move on to the next game. Region play starts. Our region is tough. We say it all the time. So you just got to move on.
I wish we could have had our football region be our everything else region, because it's not as bad over there. But you look through the gauntlet, you got both Cedar City teams, you got Juab, you got Richfield, you got Manti. A lot of these teams in those top 5 spots vying for a state championship this year. So it's a gauntlet to try and run through. No nights off for the Dinos the rest of the season. But like Coach Milovich said, they're gonna fight for you. They're gonna play hard for you, and that's
Absolutely.
all you can really ask.
Yep, and they played to the end tonight as well. Ogden just came in. They had a good game tonight. They played well. Offense played good. Defense played well. The thing that impressed me about Ogden is they got behind the chain several times. 3rd and longs. I'm talking 30 yards, 3rd and 30, and they converted. They did it all night long, and that was the difference in the game.
Yeah, able to have those big plays. They completely flipped the field, one resulting in a touchdown on their very first drive. That's hard to overcome when you can get 2 or 3 of those going. Now, Sonny, before we put the final touches on this, is there anything you want to leave us off with?
Nope. Just good night of football here at Carbon High School. Come back, join us next week as Canyon View comes to town. Our pregame show will be at 6:30, kickoff at 7 o'clock. We'll be right here on 95.3 The Peak. This is where the Dinos play.
And you look at this upcoming schedule, Canyon View next week, like Sonny said, then we have a bit of a road stand going to Richfield, then to Juam, then back home for homecoming night against North St. Pete, then another mid-region break, and as we travel to Delta to take on the Rabbits. And that's going to do it for us here tonight at Carbon High School. It's been a pleasure to be along with you for this game. I'm Aiden Mortensen, and for Sonny Buscarini, thank you for watching, and we will see you next week. Go Dinos.
Good night.